Hey gamers, what's up? Are you ready for a little tier list making here? It's gonna be interesting to see what we're gonna bring up today. I may have some more people joining later, like Relents and stuff, but they're not gonna be here from the start. So I'm gonna try to do it myself with the chat here, and then maybe later on some clever people can make some other calls, and maybe it will change my mind a little bit. But let's jump right into it. If anyone has some questions first or inputs, yeah, you can come with any input as well. If you have some inputs in the chat, I will take everything in because I haven't played a lot of mob RPGs back in the days. I played a lot of MOD and Legion and after that, but I didn't play too much back in the MOB, but I've been playing the drafts and Kata, of course, and everything like that, so we'll see how this can turn out. Okay, where do we want to start? Maybe we give people a few minutes to jump in. Maybe that's the best before we actually gonna go, like a few minutes. So if anyone joining has some questions or anything they wanna talk about, let me know in the chat. I can start talking a little bit about the mob RPGs and the drafts we've been playing and so on. Of course, the drafts are not like how a mob will be, but there are some things that still I learned from it, I would say, but of course not the same as actually mob classic. Also, we will be running on the last patch for with talents and classes and everything, so there may be some changes from original mob actually because of that. So yeah. Let's see. But yeah, me myself, I'm gonna mainly play the Holy Paladin and the Mists of Monk. I'll play some Holy Priest and DK as well. On Holy DK mainly, but we will see how much I'll actually play that. Like, I'm gonna focus the Paladin and the Monk, and that's gonna be my mains. And then the other two is mainly gonna be still for pushing, but I don't know if I will get enough games on 4 characters. But hopefully I can. So yeah, we'll see. So, yeah, let's start with the DKs here maybe. Like slowly start a little bit. We can start with what do we start with? Flag carriers. We can do the flag carriers first. Like the different tank specs and stuff. Maybe that's a good start. Just take a chill start until people join. Let's start with the DK tank then. The Blood Decay. Like Blood Decay was actually pretty good in Walls of Trainer RPG because they get some speed buffs like def advantage stuff. I'm not actually sure if they get that mob already, but yeah, they are pretty like they can self-heal a lot, which is maybe not the best that they need to hit on a target to do the self-healing. It can be decent, but the problem with not having a stealth FC is you need someone else to pick up the flag, or you need a rogue to master if you, or you need some peels or something. So it's a really big disadvantage to not have like a stealth flag carrier. So yeah, how the queues work in mobs, same as it will be 10-man RPG. That's gonna be 3 new maps: Deep Wind, Silver Shell Mines, and Kolmogo. There'll be 3 extra maps, yeah. So I'm gonna put this. It's maybe in the don't play angle. It's gonna be here for now. Maybe I'll put it up, but I don't think it's gonna be good at all to play Blood Decay FC. But when that's said, you have the mask grip. You can maybe like grip and do some sneaky stuff with the grips and stuff, but I don't see that happening. But we'll see. I'll put it there for now. Sweaty, who's the best FC you played with? That I played with? Well, recently or before? I think Rope Salesman, he's for sure one of the best ones. Like, he has really good, what's it called? It's really good flag carrying. He talks with the team and makes his own plays. Like a lot of FCs, I need to be told what to do or make like weird plays, but this guy he's doing it really good. and also calls the healers where to go and what to do. And a good FC for me is like a guy that actually leads the team when in the flag carrier map. He actually will lead everyone and everything in the flag carrier maps especially. That's what I think, and he will also make plays. And like I really hate if playing healer if I need to tell the FC what to do all the time. It's like kind of like making me play worse. I think this guy Rose. I think he's really good. There's a few other ones, like in the drafts we played a lot with a FC called Retry. I think he was really good at doing this as well, and maybe he's even better than MOP, but there's some different ones. But not too many FCs. FC is for sure one of the best roles to pick and get good at if you really want to join good groups and make like there's not many good FCs, it's kind of rare. Okay, let's go with the Guardian Druids. Well, for flag carrying, it's probably gonna be here. Like it's not. You need a guardian for all your groups to carry the flag, I would say, like a main flag carrier. Oh, you don't see the screen properly, guys. 1 second, I'll fix this. I didn't know that was a little bit troll. See it now. Now you can see everything here. Oh, whoops, what was that? Now you can see it better. What would I could say about the Guardian that a guy that can play Guardian and play it good for flag carrying is of course really. Maybe I should talk a little bit about what I rate this tier list on. I'll rate it mainly on how good it is in RBG, but I'll also take in consideration if it's actually what people need. Like if everyone is one season wants to play rogue and it's hard to get a spot, maybe I'll rank it a bit lower than, or I will take in consideration that how hard it is to play. Like maybe it's good if you're like the 1% player, like actually the best of that class. So, but I'm mainly gonna rank it how good it is in RBG and what I think, and I will of course take in consideration what the chat says as well, and maybe other people will jump in later and make some calls about what they think. So I'm doing this tier list together with the chat today. That's the plan. Let's see. Hey, Publio. But let's go back to the Feral, the Guardian here. Yeah, you will need one for RBG team, and if you're a really good Guardian, you will always have a spot in the good groups. Like you can even be like slightly worse, and you will still get a lot of invites because there's not many people that decide to play this role in RBG. Defend bases and run flags is maybe not most people what they enjoy, but the people that can actually pull it off and are good at it, they will always have a space in RBG. And I think this spec is necessary for running flags and for that. So, but you will have a dual spec. You won't play Guardian every map. I was talking with some people about if you play like Guardian Feral or Guardian Boomy, what off spec you will have. And I think the ones that play with the Feral off spec, they will for sure like have a slight disadvantage because of course you have advantage that you have the bubble, you get symbiosis, you get the bubble from the paladins, so you can easily defend the base. But at the same time, Feral may be a big advantage for Cosmogo. A disadvantage, I mean. So maybe it would be better to have the Boomy off spec here, and actually gear for Boomy mainly, and just have the Feral for defending, and I mean the Guardian for defending and for flag carrying. But yeah, we'll see. Guardian is for sure really strong in RBG. I'm doing the flag carriers right now first, and then I'll take it from there. Brewmaster Monk. One second, I'll take a little sip of my drink. I think Brewmaster Monk could have a potential. I was even coping a bit about it before the MOP release. But at the same time, the mobility isn't as good as I expected. You have like 2 or 3 rolls, or Tiger's Lust, and it's good if you get to the base and can port up and down with Transcendence, then it's really good. But until then, you need stealth, you need a rogue to master if you, or you need someone to peel for you, or to wait with picking the flag, or... It's not great, but I would probably rank it higher than Blood Decay though, because you can get into the base and port up and down. Prot Pala. Well, actually I have one thing to add for Brewmaster. I think you can stand on the flag and press the Rushing Jade Wind, and you can actually spin and you have double trinket, so it's actually decent for defending as well. So you could have like a Windwalker that would go Brewmaster for defending in some maps, and make some plays with that maybe. If you need an extra defender for some reason. I think that's not bad. I don't think a Brewmaster will lose his space that easy, but I don't know if there's any rogues in the chat that can make some more suggestions about that. That would be cool. Because that's my opinion on that at least for now, but may change. Let's see here. Brewmaster loses space with 2 instant. Yeah, okay. Yeah, then I obviously put it here. So yeah. Maybe Cockburn is joining as well soon. I'll just jump into Discord so we can jump in when he's here. 1 second. Maybe Brilliance and T-Dot will join as well in a bit, we'll see. So yeah, they will lose the base, you're saying, but yeah, I still think then we probably will go Windwalker on those maps and maybe have a double rogue defend or something if you play with a Brewmaster. Yeah, DK would be shit at defending, I think. You actually need to play Unholy, we'll have the pits, proper pit and stuff, so. Yeah, I'm not saying this is good, I'm just going through the tanks, just to rank them some reason and talk about pros and cons with playing them. I don't think any of these are good, so just a Guardian here. Prot Palette of course has a bubble, and you cannot bubble with the flag. And you cannot bob with the flag as well. You can bob other people, so for the support it may be decent. And Avenger Shield Silence. But yeah, please don't play Prot Palette RBG, I think. It's demonic. Let's see here, what are the other things? There's the Prot Warrior. The Prot Warrior has the leap, which helps, and it charges as well. And I could probably see some people would play it, but it's not gonna be on high rating, I think. You still can't stealth to get the flag and stuff, which is a big disadvantage, and I think you're okay survival against melees and stuff. Hey Valence, are you back? I thought you were in the gym, bro. Pumping. But yeah, probably gonna be here. The monk is probably playable in some way, but not good. You think Warrior is an A? You think it's actually good? Yeah, sure, Valence. You can join a bit later. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, second wind is actually, that's a good way of thinking that. Second wind is actually decent. I was dueling Caviar on his warrior as a holy paladin and I couldn't kill him as a healer. So yeah. I'm gonna drag you in, Cockburn. Hello.
Hello, hello, what's up?
Welcome in, bro. Maybe you can hit your mic a little bit. Talk again. Let me see if your mic is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Am I good?
Yeah, I think
Do I
it's
sound
okay.
good?
Yeah, now it sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little buggy to start there.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
started with doing the tanks a little bit here, and we can talk a bit about it. What do you think? I have like S plus, and then I have S, A, B, C, and D for don't play. That's how I made the tier
Yeah.
list.
Okay. We're talking about like RBG's perspective, like
Yeah,
tank for FC,
only
right?
RPGs, and I was
Yeah.
gonna
Okay.
rank the FCs first for the flag carrying, and I took the tanks first. But there's
Yeah.
maybe other classes that can FC as well, you know.
hmm
So yeah, to have all the tanks now. Is there anything you wanna say about these tanks I put on? You can see it on the stream, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Is
mean,
anything you?
I think I mean I agree with the Guardian. I think it's definitely going to be in the S tiers. Um, I mean, are we comparing like Guardian to only other FCs or to like all classes in general in specs? Because
Well,
it would.
I think for
Yeah. Go
this
ahead.
one right now, I should put on the Windwalker and the Rogue as well. How I will rank them as FC, and then I will
Mm,
do it like that first, and then I will like do it like compared with everything. Like what is the best classes to play in
yeah.
RPG? It's just so people can get a view of what they should actually play. Like if they're considering between a warrior tank or like a guardian, then they should pick the guardian, so people know and stuff, so they don't like pick some troll specs. Unless they really think it's good and they believe in it and want to try it, that's cool as well. I'm not saying everyone should play the meta, but it's still in the same way. People should get the info before they should have like
Yeah.
a informed like choice for what they play. I think.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do my
Yeah.
best with this at least and do everything.
You know, I agree, and I think instead of just looking at it like a as an FC perspective, it's more about the usefulness of this clash slash spec in the various battlegrounds. And if you think about it, I think
Yeah,
I think Guardian's usefulness is generally, it's only going to be useful in FC maps, right? And anything else is not going to be that great. So uh, I think S tier makes sense for Guardian, probably. I think if you look at Brewmaster, I'm assuming that's Brewmaster down there in the C tier,
yeah,
right?
this is
I
Brewmaster.
think, yeah, I think Brewmaster in general for usefulness across any battleground is going to be really low. Um, yeah, I think C tier might have some use cases in some situations where for defending, you know,
Yeah,
might be good.
that's why I didn't put it in the
Probably,
don't play.
yeah,
I think it can has a play somehow, but I don't think Blood Decay and Prod Pala. Like Blood Decay can maybe like grip and, but I know Unholy can do that as well, you know. So.
yeah. No, I think
But
I think I generally
yeah.
agree.
But I'm
Yeah,
also talking a little bit about what specs you could flex to. Like I was talking a little bit about the Druid here, the Guardian. If you could flex to a Feral, it's probably good for defending and like we talked a little bit about yesterday as well, with the bubble and stuff. But
yeah.
if you can flex to a Boomade and a Kodmogo, you can actually play that role and uh, you can defend as Boomade as well, and you can literally off-field people at a base and do big pressure. So
Mm,
uh, I would probably take a guy that plays like Guardian and Boomy. I'd put him as plus probably. If he plays both specs, have farmed full honor gear for both specs and enchants, everything fixed with everything completely. That guy particularly I would put as plus if he does that. I would say like that would be like giga biz for the group. I think.
hmm
But yeah.
No, I think I agree. Yeah.
But in general, I would put it as like just the Guardian itself. So, some question here. What the fuck is that question? I'm not even gonna read that out.
Uh, yeah, I
Um,
think I think you just dodged that one.
yeah. Let's see here.
Why bring
Yeah,
Brew
it's
when you could play with Mistweaver or Windwalker? It's a good question. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, that's why it's in C tier, I
That's
think.
what I wanna come to here. Well, let's do the Windwalker then. Like, Windwalker has the flying serpent kick, with this the big what's it called, like roll. You know, like you just like fly on the fucking floor, fly all the way.
Yeah.
Which if
It,
yeah,
no, go ahead.
yeah, which I think is
If you
even
can
better mobility, and of course you still can't stealth with the flag or anything, but But you can at least
Yeah.
transcend this in the base, which a Brewmaster can as well, or Mist Fever. But I think that extra mobility is quite handy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I generally agree. I mean, I've been playing quite a bit of Windwalker in the pre-patch here, just to kind of get a hang of it. And I have to say, it's probably the class with the best burst mobility. I mean, obviously rogues have the best mobility in general, but I think the class that has the just to get away the fastest is probably going to be Windwalker, and they have a lot of utility. Compared to some of the other classes out there. I mean, not only do you have everything like a Mistweaver has, like, you know, Ring of Peace, you know, diffuse magic, fortifying brew, stuff like that, but what they also have, which is really nice, is, you know, I actually don't even know if the other classes have this, but the Touch of Karma, huge. You can have it ranged up to 25 yards if you have it glyphed. I mean, it's really nice. And in the situations where the melee actually get close to you, right? You, as an FC, for example, you could use Fist of Fury, which is a really annoying stun that you can't trinket because you just get instantly stunned. Once again, they have disarm. They have so many abilities. They're also quite useful for defending with their Storm, Earth, and Fire, which actually creates a clone of themselves that, you know,
oh yeah,
that you
that's
can
true, man.
apply.
I didn't even think
Yeah,
about
and
that. Actually, that's actually really cool.
it's actually really nice. I mean, the clone is obviously quite easy to kill, but they're not CCable from what I remember. And as well as the last tier in the talents, they get the invoke Xuen, the white tiger, which is huge. You know, which is like another pet kind of you can kind of call for defending. So there's a lot of utility, and you can swap these talents around. Especially with the last tier, getting the Chai Torpedo, which replaces your roll with an ability that goes, you know, that gives you even more mobility, which is really huge, you know. So it's
But let's try rank them for flag carrying first, though. Right now,
yeah, sure.
let's take the Windwalker for flag carrying. How would you put that? Like, I'll probably put it above like Brewmaster and Prod Warrior for sure. Probably like a B for FC. This is only for FC, but I don't know what you think.
Yeah.
Or will you put it A?
No, I know I wouldn't put it at A because I mean no one's really tested Windwalker for FC. Even back in original MOP, I never really saw anybody FC as Windwalker. I think for now, I think just guessing it being around B tier is, I think, completely fair. I think A tier is a bit high. I think Rogue would be more around A tier in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I had one more thing to say about Windwalker. We had in the drafts there was actually some Windwalker that this guy diffused. He played Windwalker, and if the FC died, he could pick the flag and he could actually get through the map and stuff. It looked pretty okay. It doesn't look insane, but of course it could have a place, I could say.
Yeah. And I just want to quickly add Windwalker that, you know, if you play human Windwalker, not only do you get the trinket to trinket stuns, you also have a brew that's called Nimble Brew that lets you get out of root stuns and fears and horror effects. And it reduces the duration of future effects by 60% for 6 seconds, which is quite huge. And as well as Tiger's Lust, which gets you out of roots, you know, increases your. I mean, it is actually pretty insane how many abilities you have just to get out of those sticky situations, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Some more chat. There was one guy talking about Brewmaster a bit in the chat here. I'll just read that real quick. So I'll say from a Brewmaster point of view myself, I'm an NA Brew with Breath of Fire and Tierlist with Flag. We can disrupt healers, solo and kills for our RBG team. Yeah, the Breath of Fire with the glyph, it can also like disorient people and stuff like. That's true.
That is true. It is pretty strong.
Yeah, it's good to have other people.
So yeah. But so essentially what he's saying, I'm assuming it's this tragedy 23 guy.
Yeah.
So essentially, you're just in the back lines as Brewmaster, just fucking around with the healers. Is essentially what he's saying. You know.
Yeah. But I would still rather bring a Windwalker for that, of course. But if I see a good brew, I need to see this actually happening. You know, I need to see it with my own eyes before I'm really gonna like. I'm not saying you're saying something wrong, but it's something I want to see, and then it can surprise me. You know. So. Let's do the rogue for the FC here as well. For Rogue, for flag carrying, I would put that in the... Yeah, we both kind of said that it would be A, because it's worse than the Guardian, but it's better than the Windwalker, yeah.
And just to point out, the only spec of Rogue that'll be viable for FC will be sub. I don't think combat or assassination is going to add much more value. I think the Shadow Dance to get out of certain situations is going to be really huge. Because again, remember, we ended the flag, you can't stealth. So getting that Shadow Dance and being able to use your abilities such as Cheap Shot and Garrote is going to be pretty useful.
Yeah. I haven't even looked much into combat and assets. I don't really know too much about the specs for that. But of course, sub is the big spec for RBG and everything. And
yeah. I mean, I think Assassination has its spot probably in Arena in some shape or form. With Vendetta, it's quite nice. It's mostly oriented around poisons and bleeds, and you know, having that Rupture up will regen your energy much faster. If I recall, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it is a fun spec.
Yeah, Liz is saying as well here, Asa is really good for inking, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know. There was some expansion as well by the Vendetta that would actually spin the base and stuff. I don't know if that's MOP. I don't think it is, but like, I know you could actually defend better as at some point, but I'm not sure. Put all rogue specs in D for don't play. Yeah, that was MOP. That was later on, I think, Legion or like BFA or something. Yeah. But let's go with the Rogue FC. You have the perma sprint, the burst of speed. You are really fast. I would say a Guardian can be probably faster if he uses like stampeding raw and like his walking racial, his displacer beast. If he plays with that, or you can also wild charge to a player or something, or use that. It could probably be faster for a bit, but Rogue has the perma sprint as well, so it's a lot of.
By the way, Uzbek says combat rogue seems not that bad in RBG since you can kidney 9 seconds to kill target. Is that for PvE 9 seconds? I'm not sure if it would be 9 seconds in PvP. I think it would be reduced to at least to 6 seconds.
It was a thing. Like there was some place with that. I actually remember something with it, but
it's 9 seconds in. Okay, that is scary. If someone doesn't have a trinket and you proc the poison, you can add force. That's insane. Something also that makes rogues viable. I mean, if it was just burst of speed, I don't think rogues would be completely viable as an FC. I think the thing that adds much more is the tier that where you can choose to reduce 30% all damage taken when you use feint, and you can spam feint and just keep that up all the time.
Isn't that what it's called? Elusiveness?
Elusiveness, it is. Yeah, that is what it's called. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the combination of elusiveness and burst of speed makes them viable. So.
I streamed doing like that. It was like fucking up for a second, but it's fine now.
Yeah, and you can also, I believe you can also glyph feint for it to last 3 seconds longer, so a total of 6 seconds. You can, when you use it, it'll be kept up, really? Which is it's really nice. Rogue FC is only good if you can kill the other FC before 4 seconds. Yeah, that is completely viable. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah.
But there's also some plays, like, you should also think in the bigger perspective with the Rogue. Like, if you have a Rogue FC, of course it may be worse than having the Guardian FC, but there's only 2 flag carrier maps. In a lot of other situations, maybe it would be better to have like a double Rogue scenario, where you can ink bases and stuff and have one Rogue fight, and it's just so scary as well having double Rogue. So, like, I could see some teams actually saying, I would go with a Rogue FC, and maybe have a harder time in those flag carrier maps, but have some advances in other maps. I could see that.
I really don't think that we're going to see teams running double rogue, at least in the first season. Maybe in the later seasons when they maybe get a little bit stronger, you'll see that. But I think most teams, if they do decide to kind of YOLO these flag carrying maps and have a rogue FC, they're going to be running an extra Warlock or an extra Frost Mage, as we spoke about yesterday.
Yeah, that's also true. but not having the rogue with the bomb and an offense, and yeah, maybe it will be fine. You need a warrior to play like with shockwave, maybe for the stun for the FC or something. But
Yeah. Z Dion is asking, how is your Guardian not S tier plus? I'm interested to see what FC you put in SD. I think the question is not really about which FC is the best, but what clash/spec has the most impact or has a really high impact in the RBGs. If you look at Guardian, I mean, yes, they're the best FCs, but are they going to have as much of an impact as other classes such as like Warlocks and Frost Mages and so on and so forth? I think is the question, right? I don't know if
yeah, but that's also, I don't know if you were here when I said it, but I think if you play Guardian and you play with a Boomy off spec, I think it would be S plus. But the Guardian itself is S, I would say. Maybe I should add the Discord so you can see when we're talking if people don't know. But this probably will take some time. Maybe we should just keep going. But it's Cockburn in the chat here, in the talk, Discord. So we're gonna pump this tier list. Maybe some more people will join later. Let's see. Yeah. What should we do now? You think which classes? Is there more to add to the flag carriers first of all?
yeah. Question is simple. Well, I think what we could do is we can maybe go through these class/specs that we think have the least amount of utility in the battlegrounds, and then just keep maybe some of the better classes for the end, the juicy ones, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
Question simple: is Boomy better than Rogue in team fights? I think that, yeah.
Yeah, you can answer first. It's fine.
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think you can compare. I think you need. I think you probably need both. I mean, some teams obviously, if you don't have a good rogue, the idea would be to to swap that rogue maybe with a hunter or a warlock or another mage. But I think in general, if you have a good rogue and you have a good boomy, you'd want both of them on your team. I don't think it's like an either or situation.
No, exactly. What we used to do a lot is that's basically in What's Trainer as well. I think it should be the same for MOP. Like every time a rogue stuns for a kill target, and then the boomy he controls one other healer with a cyclone, and maybe the third one with a root beam or something, and does the setup like that. Or you can also, if he just stuns to CC, you can clone out of the stuns as well and stuff. Like, I think you really need both as well. It's really good. I guess you could play without one of them, but I don't think it will be better for sure. Maybe a double frost mage something, but yeah.
Unfortunately, Disc Priest in RPGs, is it good? I think the general consensus so far, with that I've heard, is that Holy Priest is going to be the way to go, and I haven't heard anything good about Disc Priest. Now, I've never played Disc Priest in RPG, so I wouldn't be able to answer that question as to why it's Holy Priest over Disc, but yeah.
We can look at it like this. Like in Cataclysm, Disc Priest was the better spec in Arena, like way better than Holy. But you still played Holy in RPG. But now Holy is even the better spec in Arena, in MOP. So I can't see why you would play Disc in RPG in MOP as well. So yeah. One guy is saying as well, it goes zoom fast, and you won't make single target, and you cannot AoE heal since RPG is mainly about damaging everything. Yeah, so the Disc Priest needs to do damage to heal. And I don't think he can control actually who he heals with that torment completely, and if that's not really strong, yeah, maybe a bit harder. I know in some later expansions Disc Priest was really good with the shields, and especially in Warlock Trainer, where you just should spam shield and stuff a lot, but I'm not. Like, it's one of the... if someone really knows a lot about Disc Priest and Holy Priest, they could jump in the chat and write up something. That would be interesting. Because... yeah, for me, it's really clear that Holy is the better spec, but it can be a little bit hard to answer why not play disc at all? Like, just say why not. So, yeah. Did you have something more for that?
No, I think we covered that pretty well.
Okay. You can choose what class you want to do next then. That's some.
Let's do Shaman. I think Shaman would be interesting.
Enhancement first, maybe.
Yeah, sure. So what would you put it at?
Well, the thing about enhancement is I saw some streams with that Saul guy. Like, he was actually pumping arena on enhancement with turbo cleave. It was pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like, with a warrior and stuff, it can connect with another melee, like a warrior to a target, and it can pop its ascendance and use that wind strike and burst people down like that. And I also think you have some utility, like some totems and groundings and short interrupts and. But I think it's first in Warlords that they actually fire in a way it can do like really good AoE. Because I remember in Warlords of Draenor, Enhanced Shaman was in the later season, it was one of the best DPS in Warlords of Draenor. But for MOP, I don't think it's the same. I don't exactly know what was the change from MOP to what, but yeah. I think with a warrior and some maybe play around it with some melee cleave or something, it's decent. But I would probably put it like B. I don't think it's completely trash, but I wouldn't pick it, I guess. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be up there in like the top tier teams, but I think at least during the first season, I think that there might be some teams that might, the lower rated teams that might try running an enhanced shaman. I don't think it's going to be that bad. As you said, turbo cleave is going to be pretty big deal. And they do have insane bursts, right? And they do have some decent utility, but I think there's other classes that have a little bit, a little bit more AoE damage, more damage in more CC and stuff like that. I think they're generally quite squishy once their cooldowns are not up, So I think that's probably the main reason. But if you're looking for a burst class for some quick damage in a very short amount of time, kind of like Warrior in a sense, I think they wouldn't be too bad. And that's, they wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I think that compared to other melee that you could potentially choose, they kind of lack in that area, in my opinion.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
again, like, I could still see, like, if you play enhancement in some maps, and maybe you could switch LA or something in other maps, like After Storm. Like, in After Storm, you would for sure, if you play Shaman DPS, After Storm, if you can play LA there, it's good because you have the knock and stuff for the grip knocks and,
Yeah. I wouldn't even put enhance at B tier. I would put it like
C or
C tier. Yeah, I would put it
that's
C tier.
probably
It's
better,
I mean
Windwalker's better.
maybe even D, but I think we're not going to see that many teams. I mean, high rating that's just not going to be a thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
But
I would
regarding
scare away people from playing it. If you're good at it and stuff, I think you can make it work somehow. But if you have the choice between playing other specs and classes, I think you should maybe consider that.
Yeah. Yeah. Regarding elemental, I think elemental is going to be. I think it's kind of underrated. I think that its usefulness is going to be quite high. It's going to be much better than in Cataclysm. I think you have, because of the mastery, and on top of that, you can run Echo of Elements, or even Elemental Mastery, so you have your own personal hero that you can just use for yourself. I think that's going to be huge. You get those procs with the Chain Lightning, and if you have good position,
well, don't you? Can you like spam Lava 5 times using procs?
Yeah. And you get instant spells when you have Ascendancy up, and I think that the damage output, the potential it has is quite high. Obviously, you would need to be a good player and have really good positioning, because they're easily interruptible compared to some of the other classes, I think. But I think their damage output is going to be really high, and yeah. So I think it's definitely higher than Enhanced Shaman. Is it going to be S tier? I think that's going to be a no. Is it between A and B? I think is the question
Start
here.
with B for now, and maybe we can move it up later if people have some good explanation
Yeah,
or something in the chat. Like, I just want to say
yeah.
as well from the chat and stuff, like, if you have something you think that should be changed to Tierlist, I really want to hear your opinions and stuff, so we can take that into consideration as well. This is more like a prediction. It's not like that we played MOP for a million years and we know everything completely. It's more like talking with the stream and doing this together, you know. So yeah, so no. Uh, mm. But for the elemental as well, like the grip knocks is really going to be used with DK. The elemental knock is better than the boomy knock. I'm not sure if it has
Mm-hmm.
slightly longer cooldown. I actually don't think it has longer than the typhoon. But
It's a good question. I just don't have the don't have that ability.
the
Seeing that
thunderstorm.
right now, but
But
it should. I think it should be like around 30-second cooldown.
yeah, it's probably
Check.
kind of same as typhoon, maybe 5 seconds longer or something. It's not bad. And yeah, the ele knock, you can literally knock them with the DK. Boomy, you need to have them specifically like close to the edge and stuff. The elemental, you will just get the knock like you can be further away and still get it. Like, and it's really
Okay.
unpredictable for some healers. If they try, they think they're safe because of the Boomy. The LA can still knock them off. So yeah.
Yeah. So it would appear that Thunderstorm is like 45-second cooldown. Typhoon is 30 seconds. So
Was it 35? You said? Yeah.
45
Oh, 45. Okay,
Thunderstorm,
yeah. Yeah. Also at Lumber
I
Mill,
believe.
you can actually knock people off easily as well, even without the grip as LA. What I would probably do if I had like LM fight, I would probably grip knock with the Boomy as a DK, and then I would have the elements that he can just knock off himself because the knock is so big he can just catch someone off guard, bad positioning, and then just get them off the map.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, Dione is making a good point. Ellie is S tier and 33 most likely. I think I agree with him on that. And has to cast. And his burst damage AoE lax versus Affliction, Boomy, and Mage. That is a very fair point. So I think B tier is reasonable.
yeah.
Ellie knock is 18 second. Really? I don't know, I see 45. I don't know if that's you can get a glyph or something like that, but
Maybe you can. I'm not sure,
I don't know.
but it's not that much longer. Or it's kind of close to Typhoon in a way like that. So not like it's a way longer
Yeah.
cooldown. So with Glyph and Faucet PvP, he's saying.
Ah, yes, and yeah, the glyph reduces the cooldown of Thunderstorm by 10 seconds. So, that's 35 seconds. That's 35 seconds for Thunderstorm, and then plus the Force set brings it even down further. So yeah, it comes down to roughly the same as Typhoon.
Yeah.
He's right.
I would also see like even on the blacksmith you could actually easily grip knock with elemental. You know, like just it's so easy to get people off with that knock. So it would be in the down in the water and blacksmith and stuff, and it can if you knock like the priest down and he cannot grip up and stuff. It's kind of crazy actually. But yeah. Okay. I think we do the healers afterwards. We don't do the Resto Shaman now. We do the healers later. Don't you think so?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
What spec class should we go with now? What do you think?
I called the last one, so I guess you can call the next one.
Maybe the warrior specs. That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm not sure about Fury. Like in Legion, Fury was actually good because you had that Death Wish that would stack up and stuff, and you could actually play it. If you kept that buff up, you could do like a lot more damage. I really don't know a lot about Fury in MOP, but I see everyone is playing arms, and I guess that's for a reason. What do you think? Do you know anything about Fury?
Well, from my recollection, I think Fury is more just a pure DPS spec. I think the damage is probably going to be completely. It's because I think it's going to be fine. The issue is that the utility it brings with some of its abilities compared to Arms is kind of lacking. Again, remember Arms has Mortal Strike, which is his healing taken, which is really important. You have Colossus Smash, which bypasses 100% of armor. Which, you know, if you're running like a couple melees, that's going to be extremely useful to really pump out more damage, right? If you can just ignore all that armor. So I think those are probably the reasons as well. And also they have overpower, which, you know, if the enemy dodges any attack or parries, I think you can just you know, hit them with overpower procs. So it's gonna be really nice, I think, compared. But I think Fury in general is just more of a pure DPS spec. I don't even think even PvE Fury is gonna be the way to go, if I recall. So I think it's gonna be arms.
It's gonna be in the don't play. I think like the.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, I
think
think
it's gonna be good. Because
yeah.
why would you bring a warrior that doesn't MS? Like, if I see a warrior and he's played Fury and not Mold Strike in my group, man, I wouldn't be like complete chill. Let me put it like that.
Yeah.
So.
Arnie is saying Fury catches up damage-wise later in expansion. That's all. And I would have to agree with that statement for sure. What is Anti saying? He's saying area knockback effects now all share a diminishing return category after a player has been. So they will be immune for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I remember that as well. You can't just knock all the time, like double knock and stuff.
If you're setting a Berserker stance in RBG, will do insane damage on single target. That's probably true. So, Anti, you would be more for like a Fury Warrior in your team than an Arms Warrior, if I understand correctly?
I don't think he will, but let's see the answer.
I'm curious. I mean,
yeah, of course, it's interesting.
Yeah. But regardless, I think I still think Arms is still great overall, but Fury can work versus certain comps. It's not bad by any means, but squishier. So essentially, what I think he's trying to say is maybe it's not in D tier.
Yeah, we can
maybe
put
it should
here
be
for now. See, the one step up is maybe okay, but I still think they are. Yeah, I don't know. We can put it C then, if there's some good explanation there. That is not too bad. It's good to have people that actually know about the specs, because I haven't really looked into this like spec a lot, to be honest. So.
No,
okay, let's do the Arms Warrior. Like, for sure, I think in the start especially, like, Warrior Arms is gonna be insane. Because Mold Strike is always good, of course, and together with the DK synergy, and you have the second wind as well, so you don't die as easily as well, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Second wind is going to be really huge. That paired off with resilience, even though I think there's been mentions that resilience has gotten somewhat nerfed since we're using the last patch of the expansion for the fixes. So, but I still think second wind is absolutely broken. There's already been duels during pre-patch where people having a rough time to burn through that damage. You really have to save your cooldowns to kill an Arms Warrior. So I think the fact that they have, I mean, warriors in general, they have such, I think, high survivability. I mean, again, shield wall doesn't require a sword and board anymore. You can just literally use it whenever, if I recall properly.
Yeah, that's true.
As well as, you know, their physical fears, recklessness, you know, rallying cry.
Banners as well.
Exactly, and the banners, which are going to be extremely useful. You pair that up with Avatar, and you are going to be pumping some damage, right? And it's quite nice. I think they have really high utility, as well as a variety of different talents that they can choose from. And I think Arms Warrior is probably going to be one of those classes where you're going to see, or wars in general, you're going to see people actually swapping talents depending on the battleground they get. I mean, there's just so much to choose from. You know, you have Blaze Storm, Shockwave, Dragon's Breath. You have Disrupting Shout. You know, depending on who you're going against, there might be
Dragon
one more.
Roar? Isn't that the one?
Yeah, Dragon Roar.
Yeah.
Dragon War is the one where it's like the AoE thing. I don't know how good it is in RBGs, but I think the damage is spread amongst whoever is close by. So if there's only one person, you pop all your cooldowns, it might be able to do quite a bit of damage. But I think either it's going to be, I think Shockwave is probably going to be, and Chad can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Shockwave is going to be like the main ability they're going to be using. It's just, I think, really good if people are stacking.
Yeah, for sure.
And avatars. I think avatars is gonna be a no-brainer. It's
one thing, to be honest, that I don't like about Voice, you have to pick between Bladestorm and Shockwave. I think that's really shitty. You have to pick between those two. It's mega bad.
Now, I mean, Chuck can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Bladestorm is not going to be as good as it was in Cataclysm. I think the damage output from it is not that great. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I think it's still good. But I really hope you would play the Shockwave, you know, the AoE stun with the mask grip and stun and stuff. I would really love to play like that, for sure.
Yeah. And it's also a thing to consider. I think the mask grip into all these extra CCs is a nice combo, but people should be kind of take this be careful with this combination, because again, you put every player on the enemy team on DR. So if you're unable to get any significant kills with this combo, everybody's on DR, and getting CCs out within the next like 10 seconds is going to be a little bit difficult, right? So Diani says Warrior is great in 2s, 3s, but I feel like BizCom doesn't want too many melees. DK and Rogue are just better if played best, but Warrior close behind.
Yeah. I just think the Warriors actually... I don't know, where would you put them? For now, what do you think? Where should they be? They're sure better than Windwalker, I think, like here at least, or maybe even here in this. Maybe here?
I think most people would probably say Warrior's gonna be in the S tier. I think I'm kind of biased against Arms Warrior. I know they're good, but I don't want to put them in S tier. I think they're more like maybe A tier, but I think it's either going to be S or A tier. Yeah, maybe A tier. But
yeah, we can try that for now.
Yeah, Defox saying A tier.
I think A tier, man. I'm coping a bit maybe, but especially in the start of the season. But if yeah, I just think that if you play with a DK and a Warrior together, they can talk and call stuff. I just think the much that's better than that.
I completely agree. If the Warrior's coordinating with the DK and vice versa, I think that's going to be a very deadly combination. Very hard. It's going to be very stressful for healers to deal with that.
For me, it just looks weird having it in A. I know Rogue's not going to stay in A. That was just for the flag carrying for now. But yeah, we can look at it later.
Put it S tier for now if you want. I mean, you can always change it later.
If you don't mind, I would be more happy with putting it this for now, and then we can move it back later if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really think it's gonna be insane. I watched a lot of streamers as well from the MOP and that's the arena, but there's so many defenses. They don't need to swap the shield. They can use all those banners.
Yeah.
They have like even a wall they can put in other players and a safeguard Tween, and it's nothing they don't have really. I think so. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think it's a valid point. Yeah.
But there's that thing. If teams start running like heavy cast that comes later on in the expansion or later in the season, it may fall off a bit, you know, later on, because if there's too many casters, it may just like not have the survivability. Even though with the second wind, I could see that as well. And if a warrior he trinkets a clone, you can easily bomb him with a rogue and just kill him with that bomb and stuff like. Yeah. Anything else to add for the warrior, or do we go next? Or?
I mean, I don't know if it was our mention. Just I think a good reminder. I mean, S tier I think is valid. It's just, you know, combined with their defensive capabilities, their damage capabilities, and their mobility, just makes them a really great class to have in general, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can pick the next one then.
Yeah, let's go ahead. I think there was a mention. We can get maybe the Red Paladin out of the way, and then move on maybe towards the Warlock.
Yeah, sure.
Some of the Warlock specs, I guess. Yeah. So Red Paladin, I don't have that much information regarding Red Paladins. I don't know how good they're going to be, so I really don't know where to put them. I definitely think they're probably going to be give or take around the same level as enhancement, most likely. They seem to be somewhat similar. But yeah.
Well, the sack, you can put sack on people and it removes the CC now. I don't know if it's everything, but I can see them on defense in Warsong. If healer gets CC, you can put the sack on them and it will actually remove the CC completely and stuff. And
Yeah.
there's some utility
Yeah.
plays, and Bob as well, of course. You cannot use Lay on Hands anymore in RBG, but there's some stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, like, all of this can be done by the Holy Paladin on your team, right? So it's like, is the Ret Paladin going to? I mean, obviously it has a lot of utility, but will it bring the damage like some other classes also have? And I mean, you're already running. Every team is probably going to be running. Every serious team is probably going to be running at least a DK and a warrior. That's already a lot of melee and a rogue. If you consider that there's going to be, so there's already like 3 melee on the team. You take a Ret Paladin. Either you take a 4th melee, or you replace a rogue with a Ret, which I think is very questionable. And if you run 4 melee, that means that you have less spots for casters, and casters are quite important. There's some casters you can't replace. Having a Boomy with a Vortex, having a Solar Beam, having the Mage with the mass damage and the CC capabilities, the Warlock with the dots, the UA protection. I mean, you can't really give up some of these classes compared to a Ret. So I think their usefulness is not going to be as important as some of the other classes.
There's actually one thing I remember. I played with the Red Pala and was a trainer. Really good Red Pala. He was target calling and everything. It was Bookmark. He was playing the Red Pala a bit. And we actually played Red, Warrior, and DK. And they all played with the stun. And you would literally stun one healer each. And then, and the Boomies and the CC out of the stuns, you would stun them all at the same time. And then you would literally, just go hard on one. But you kind of need some coordination and stuff as well. And of course, the HOTS can be dispelled. So you actually need to CC the other healers at the same time if you want the HOTS even to do anything. Yeah. Which is also...
Yeah, and also their CC capabilities are not, as Ret Paladin, are not going to be really worthwhile in my opinion compared to some other classes. I mean, they'll have Hammer of Justice, which is I think just called Fist of Justice. If you take that that 2nd tier talent, which which reduces your Hammer of Justice from 1 minute to down to 30 seconds. But the thing is, it's going to kind of DR with some of the other stun abilities you have. I mean, if you just look at the warrior with the shockwave, I mean, yeah, it's questionable. And they're not going to play Repentance. There's going to be dots rolling if you're playing a Warlocks, and there's going to be a lot of AoE damage. So I don't think it's going to be very useful.
They can play the Fear, the Turn Evil. They will actually fear people now, like players.
Ah, yes, true. That could be nice.
That could be something.
Yeah.
Because you're actually in there and good fear. What else? Like, I really like that with the sack, it can remove CC. Like, if you are like on defense in Warsong, and like I said, then one healer, there's only gonna be one healer in D, and the Red can actually sack and get him out. But yeah, I think we should put it around the enhancement. I think actually enhanced could be better. Like, I would maybe rather have that with a warrior than with a Red, I think. So.
Yeah. And regarding what Antti said, it would look like even Fury Warrior is more interesting than a Ret. Maybe even consider Ret in the D tier.
I'm cool with that, to put like this, like it didn't move.
Yeah.
Like this, yeah. I wouldn't put in an actually don't play. I think there will be some good people, arena players, that can make it work in some way. So I wouldn't say exactly don't play, but maybe in the bottom of the sea. So.
Yep.
Maybe let's talk a little bit about... you started talking a bit about Windwalker Monk. We only placed them for the flag carrying now. Maybe we should bring them up again, like overall.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, maybe I'm a little biased with the Windwalker. I just think they bring a lot of utility, mobility. They also have like a healing reduction. They have insane CC capabilities. The only question is, will they have the damage like a warrior can pump out? And that is probably going to be a no-go in my opinion. I think they are probably more interesting than Enhanced and a Red Paladin. Are they more interesting than Fury Warrior? Probably. I mean, I don't think you should be replacing your Arms Warrior with a Fury Warrior. I don't think you should be replacing your Arms Warrior with a Windwalker. But maybe, and maybe if you don't really want to run like a Guardian Druid, you could maybe replace the Guardian Druid with a Windwalker, assuming you do have a Rogue on your team, so that when you do get 4 stacks, you can swap it with the Windwalker. I think there's going to be a lot of utility here, and I think that their roles in the battleground are going to be quite diverse, which is rare for a class to be, to have those capabilities, whether being FC, whether being a team fight, whether being on defense, and that extra mobility can really help in maps like Arathi Basin.
Yeah, well, these two, if you want to change them one up or one down, or want to stay in B, well, I actually think B is fine for them.
I would agree. I think B is quite fair.
Yeah.
I think B is fair. I don't know what chat thinks. I would love to get chat's reaction regarding the Windwalker. I'm a little biased for Windwalker in my opinion, so.
Well, when I played VOD a lot, it's not MOP of course, but Windwalker was mainly seen like in a full melee cleave, like together with maybe a warrior DK and like with there's like 3 or 4 melees. Like that's where we saw the Windwalker, and it worked well to stack up with extra stun, and it's really bursty as well. So.
Yeah. Well, Liski is letting us know that it is unplayable trash in RBGs. It might very well be the case, and if that is, maybe put it down on C tier. But I think it's between a B and a C tier Windwalker. So for sure.
I'll probably put it higher at least, like, to be honest.
Yeah. I would definitely say Ellie definitely has a higher position than Windwalker in my opinion. Windwalker is way too squishy. That is also true. Probably mid-low B. Yeah. You can remove their karma with blessing and protection, or block, etc., and they get instantly blown up. That is true. That is very true. They are definitely squishy.
Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, let's stay at B for now, and if people have more suggestions, we will take it into consideration. Maybe we should rate more melees. We should just finish up all the melees and then go more to the ranged later. Maybe take the Feral Druid. Can you hear me? Music stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe take the Feral Druid next. Then let's just finish off all the melees and go to casters, and then go to like healers. Yeah. The rogue is not finished yet. Maybe we should do the rogue, then it's already on here. Actually do the rogue first. Well, let's put it like this. Rogue is not amazing in MOP by default. Like, class design may not be as interesting as in Kata, where you could... That's what I heard other people say at least. But rogues are always good in RBG. You need them for inking. Like, if you don't have a rogue, the team is not scary. If you can as a rogue carry the team and get a base or something, and you can do smoke bomb the FCs, and yeah, I would put rogue in S, honestly, even though people may say it's a bit worse in I would put it here or something. Because even though people say the design is worse or whatever, like if you have a good rogue, it will actually just make the difference every single time.
I completely agree with that. I think good rogue is very underrated. I mean, if you just look at Cataclysm, I know they had a lot of damage in Cataclysm, but even though they have less damage in MOP, a good rogue is going to make those really good plays. The positioning, the movement, and stealth is really hard to beat, And just having that unknown variable in those games is really going to help your team push rating and make those plays.
Yeah, I really think also, but the thing is also like Valencia talked a little about yesterday in the stream, that rogue may actually, like if you don't have a good rogue, you may as well bring another class. But if you have a good one, it's S. But if you don't have a good one, I wouldn't put it as if you have like a bad rogue or something. It's not gonna make it or break it. So keep that in mind. If rogue is different playstyle than every other class in RPG, you're inking bases. It's a lot of different jobs, and you need to high RPGs awareness and skill to play this. It's not something I would just start out with unless I really enjoy it and really want to like improve on that specific role.
Yeah, so Dione says Rogue has high skill cap and can make a huge difference. The 2 bombs, double vanish, and the ability to stun their entire team at any moment needed is huge if he knows what he's doing. I think it's a very solid point.
Yeah.
Do you need PV gear to do RBGs on high level or not in MOP?
No, you're not gonna use any PV gear. They even nerfed it to like low eye level as well in PvP.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you didn't know, if you do get those, I mean, if there was no nerfing on PV items going into these rated battlegrounds or arena, then you would see certain items being used in PvP. But the fact that it actually gets scaled down to the PvP item level just doesn't make it worth.
Yeah, exactly. See what else? Whichever team has better IP protection will win regardless.
Yeah,
the funny one.
it's actually kind of funny.
But when it comes back to, for me,
Yes.
still it may look, if it's a good rogue, I would actually put him above the warrior as well. I don't know. It's kind of rough.
I mean, yeah, it really depends on the level of the rogue. So
it's so hard to put it. If you have a really, really good rogue, it'll literally carry the game. But maybe just leave it as it is for now. Then, if you don't have the best one, it's worse, of course. So.
Yeah. I mean, the hardest thing, I mean, as far as I've seen, the hardest thing that rogues have is what their current responsibility is during the game, right? The rogue is that one class that can go from being in the team fight to doing other objectives, right? And coordinating with other people to make plays. If the rogue doesn't have the knowledge on what to do in a game, it just makes them really, kind of useless. I see many rogues that just overly concentrate on just either being on the team fight, other rogues that concentrate on just doing random things in the battlegrounds and not really knowing and not really understanding what their real goal is within a game. So
yeah, also like if the guardian for some reason cannot pick up the flag, the rogue can pick it for a bit and swap later or something, and you can
absolutely
master people as well. You get master in MOP, which is really huge. You can actually sneak around with that with the whole team and stuff. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can link the Discord really quick here for the people. If someone doesn't have it, he wants the Discord for the RPG. This is my Discord. This is the one we're using for the RPG. So yeah. What else was people saying here? Let's see. Let's go to the next class, maybe. But you can pick one now. What do you think we should pick now?
let's go and do a hunter.
Yeah, Hunter is actually interesting to have now. Yeah. Which one? Spec first?
So I think we could probably get rid of the spec that is least likely to be played. I don't know much hunter, and if there's someone that S tier plus is what Liz Key is indicating, I don't know if it was survival or beast mastery that is going to be the main spec they're going to be playing. I heard rumors that it was probably going to be beast mastery. Yeah, BM is abyss is what some people are saying. So I think that if there is going to be a class that is going to be one of the specs that's going to be chosen for hunter, it's probably going to be beast mastery. And I personally think with the usefulness and the damage and what they can do, they're probably going to be around the B tier. I think they're going to be more useful than an enhanced Fury and Reds, but I think they're not going to be better than an elemental shaman. So yeah, survival is the best arena spec, is what Liski is saying, and Diani.
I think probably you will play survival if you're like in the fights a lot, like. But if you need to defend, I would play BM with the. Yeah, for defending, I think BM is way better with the pets and stuff. Like, don't you think so?
Mm-hmm.
BM has.
Yeah, but if you take a hunter on your team, who you're replacing? You know, that's who you're dropping on your team to get that hunter in. It's like it's either you're gonna have a good rogue. If you don't have a good rogue, then you can replace that rogue either with another frost mage or a warlock, maybe even a hunter. And so I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be seeing teams that are going to be running. I mean, obviously in the lower teams probably, but in the higher teams, you're not going to see a team that has a rogue and a hunter. So the hunter is definitely going to be sitting more on defense and whatnot, which is kind of an L. If you don't have that stealth kind of protection and that unknown variable within your games.
I can see actually. Sorry, but I'll say something here as well. But if you have like a guardian that can play boomy, so he will go boomy, and you have a rogue and a hunter. I don't see the problem in that. If the guardian can play boomy in those maps, and he won't defend, then he would actually come in the fight if he's a good boomy as well. But I still don't know who it replaces. If it doesn't replace the rogue, it could be probably the DK then. But then you lose the grips and stuff, or the warrior. Yeah, it's a hard one to pick a hunter over some of the other classes there.
The paw icon is Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you take BM, my gut feeling says it should be like here, just above Windwalker and below Ele. I don't know.
I agree. I think that's a very fair. It's a fair assessment. I would love to have someone that's in chat that actually plays Hunter seriously to give their take on Hunter Beast Mastery and MOP. I think that would be quite nice. Obviously, if we had episode around, he'd probably say put it in A or C S tier. But
he's coping. I always troll him with that. They look forward to sit on the bench and stuff. I always troll him with that shit. But, we'll see. Time will tell.
I think a Hunter in S tier is a little cope. I think. And I think the rest of these specs, I don't know. Either put them in C tier or D tier.
I think episode was actually coping a lot about the survival. Probably not deep for that, but it's probably here or something.
Yeah.
No.
I think Marksman is probably not as I think Marksman can go in D tier. Yeah, probably D tier. I think nobody's gonna play that. I don't know actually. I picked Episode X in the tourney when no one else would. I hope he remembers. Survival is stronger than BM, and you put it lower. Is it really? I mean, you said it was better in Arena. Is it better in RBGs? I don't know. It's a question.
Yeah, Episode said the same actually as well. So if he says it's better, maybe put them like this.
Survival should be higher than BM, which I think is probably a good point because, again, Beast Mastery usually means you rely on your pet to do the damage. With all the CC going out with the Frost Novas and whatnot, maybe the pet will not be able to get on its targets and be on it as much as a survival with its pure damage. So I could see that being a valid point.
But it really also depends. Like if you are fighting as a hunter, but I think the hunter would just perma be at the bases. I'm not even trolling. Like I think I would
Oh,
actually
yeah.
put BM on defending and inking duty. And if that's the case, I would actually put BM higher, because why would you pick a hunter for the fighting? Why would you not pick another class? That's just my opinion as well. Like,
Mhm.
why would you pick a hunter to actually be in the fight? I think as a hunter you would probably have both specs, and play survival if you're fighting, and play BM if you're at the bases.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys?
So yeah, so Episode just sent me a message. He's actually listening, and he's telling me that BM was in season 12. Original MOP in season 12 was actually the strongest hunter spec in arena.
Yeah, but there's changes now. So in the later patch it's nerfed. There's something nerfed, I heard that as well. It's not gonna be as good. I don't know exactly what they changed for the last patch, but
Yeah, Liski's saying, but we don't play on the first patch, which is true. So BM is dog.
it's put survival high. I feel like the chat has that survival should be higher than BM, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I completely. I mean, I can agree on that. I mean, again, don't know much about hunters, so.
But at the same time, if I pick a hunter and he's not gonna defend, like what is he gonna do? But maybe survival is also fine for defending, and can be more damage if it has to fight.
Yeah. Donnie says BM was bugged in season 12. It would one-shot everyone with Stampede. I actually do remember that bug. I do believe. That does ring a bell.
Yeah. Let's do like this then, I guess. Feel happy?
Yeah.
Maybe we should do the other rogue specs as well here. We didn't really finish those. Assassination. Like Liski said, some plays with the Vendetta and stuff, and I still think you're trolling if you don't play soft as a rogue in the RBG, to be honest. That was that with the kidney on the combat spec. Could make some plays maybe with the 9-second kidneys, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Combat A tier. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think I will put the S and D actually. Because you see why you wouldn't play that. But combat, can you explain a little bit more about the combat A? Why do you say combat A, Tiny?
Yeah, I would also. My intuition would be to put either combat probably in D tier as well. But I mean, if you're only relying on a 9-second kidney to make plays, and then you have to wait for that cooldown to come back up to actually do anything, I don't know if it's going to be that impactful in the game. Yeah, but the 10% increased damage from all team on stuns, you can also get that from any other class.
Yeah.
I mean,
we should ask Acrolols why play
sorry,
combat.
not from any other class, from any other spec of rogue. Excuse me, because it's a talent. I think it's called. I don't know if it's called Cloak and Dagger or what specifically was called that. Let me jump on my rogue and see. Yeah. I also agree with Liski when he says, I really think SM might have a spot because you can ink really good with it and you should be able to get every base. Is it because of the damage? Like, what specifically makes Assassination so good at inking?
Yeah, that's actually really interesting.
Yeah. So the ability is yeah, excuse me. Yeah. So the ability Dione was referring to was Prey on the Weak, which increases the damage taken by 10% when the target is kidneyed, cheap shot, gouged, or blind, whatnot. So.
You use Shadow Walk Glyph plus Indie Goggles. You see stealth is really good. You Vendetta them, doesn't break their or your stealth, and you zap blind his trinket without counterplay. Yeah, I know there was something with that. I remember this kind of. I don't play a rogue, so I don't know the details like you do, Lipsky. But I know there was something with this as well. You could do it in some
Yeah.
way.
So just a reminder as to why you would want to put Vendetta on the enemy target. Not only does it increase damage that you deal to that target by 30%, but it also grants this unerring vision on your target regardless of concealment such as stealth and invisibility. So, for example, even if that rogue later on comes out of stealth and then vanishes, I think you would probably still see be able to find them in stealth with it in the last 20 seconds, which is pretty big. Yep.
We moved it up a bit, probably above Fury Warrior at least. Don't know if you're happy with that. Just for that sake, it's probably not in the don't play, but what do you think? Should we move it back, D?
No, I think assassination at either B or C tier. I don't know what Liski says, but since he's definitely more knowledgeable on that class than we will ever be, I think.
Liski, are you happy with having S and C here, or do you want to move it up or down? Just to clarify. Okay, C is fine. Yeah, I think so too.
Kuro no Kage is saying not playing sub is trolling, to be honest, or maybe low XP rogues will do for less hard gameplay with Asa, but then it's skill issue anyway. Yep. It's kind of like what Rickful says. You're not a real rogue if you play if you don't play sub.
But I remember back in Warlocks of Draenor, I don't know if you did it in MOP as well, but Aqualots, you actually played Asa. I mean, an outlaw. Oh, that's combat here, of course. He actually played the combat, and it worked. He even made it work somehow with the kidney, and yeah. Aqualots, he was good with that, but still, sub is still superior, but he could make it work somehow. Rogues OP if played at skill cap, so even as a much worse version might not even be low SP if played good. Yeah, true. If you're a good rogue and you can make those plays like this kid talked about with the Vendetta and stuff. But yeah, I don't want to give people any ideas that they should play a lot of Asa. If I put it up in B, it'll probably give people ideas. But sub is for sure the spec to go as a rogue, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's without a question.
Yeah. Maybe go for the DKs. That's your main class to spice it up a little bit here.
Yes. Right. So obviously, I think that Unholy is probably going to be either going to be an S tier, maybe even S plus tier, mainly because that DKs right now will have 3 grips. You will have your normal grip. I think the foresight bonus provides you with a window to do a secondary grip, as well as mass grip. So to get people in range to make some plays is going to be. I think you can't replace a DK. I think they're just completely needed, as well as their spread damage. A DK that knows how to snapshot their dots and to spread it and to maintain those dots on the players is going to be extremely beneficial. I think they should be one of the top DPS in some of these games that we should see if they're playing it properly. So yeah, I would agree that it would probably be an S plus tier class spec. Their survivability is also going to be quite high. They have a lot of cooldowns, and which is going to be extremely useful. So,
but I don't know if this is fixed for MOP Classic, but you could actually mass grip on your pet at some point as well. Like actually mass
I don't know.
grip to
I
your
definitely
pet.
try that.
I haven't tried that on the beta or anything, but if you can like mass grip to the pet, it could be very interesting.
It would be. It would be huge, yes.
Because I know there's a spot on Lumber Mill. You could actually place the pet on the edge, and you could mass grip them, and they fall off. You don't even need a boomy to knock or something. They fall off if you mass grip to the pet on that exact spot, and stuff like that.
That would be some interesting plays. If that is true, that just makes it even more overpowered. You just have the pet, sit like you just tell it to sit here in this exact position, and then when you're in combat, you can do that mass grip and get everybody there, and have the boomy into the right position. I think those plays are really strong. I think there's nothing more to say about that.
Let's put it up here for sure. I don't know if it's going to be like the highest S plus. There's probably 1 or 2 better classes, but
yes.
Yeah. And also the thing is that we saw in Cat as well, there's not many DKs and there's not many good DKs. So actually, if you are playing a good DK and owning it up on the spec and class, you will have a spot in pretty much every group, I would say. You can make calls, play scripts, and just a good damage as well.
And also to note, something that is I think quite a big change for DKs in general is Icy Touch. Now that it dispels one helpful magic effect from the target, is going to be really nice to have. So
that's true as well. Yeah, you get the buffs and stuff if you're lucky. What's the stats at? I'm looking forward for DKs to be back with the mask scripts. I played it a lot back in the days in VOD and stuff. I love DK. I pretty much only played that for a long time.
Yeah, and I can't think of any original name. That's a nice Twitch name, by the way. I think what he says makes a lot of sense. Unholy Decay for someone just to pick up and assume they will be S+ with it is going to be rough. I think is what he wanted to mention, and I would agree that there is quite a bit of knowledge required to play Unholy properly. You have to track your buffs to make sure that when you do snapshot that you have the stronger dots rolling on the enemy, and then to spread those accordingly and to maintain them is not that easy. So
yeah, DKs have masters. That's a question. Yeah,
yes, they do. Danny says DK has so many interrupts: death grip, mind freeze, straying, pet stun, pet kick, and are immune to all CC when they are desiccated ground. Yeah, it's true. I don't know if there's a use case to play Desecrated Ground over Mass Grip and RBGs. I would be interested to know if there was actually, but yeah.
Maybe if they're defending a base for some weird reason.
Yeah. Could you scroll up a bit on your thing? I think the S+ tier is kind of cut off.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, then why this? I'll move it a bit. It's better in a second.
Yeah. Ah, there we go. Nice. I forgot they would be in the same row. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. I think there's not much more to say about Unholy DK. I think this is going to be extremely useful and a must-have.
Yeah, but also, like, if you have, like, a good warrior DK synergy, and even with the rogue and grip bomb and stuff, like, with the team play, like, a good DK, but is, of course, a S+, but, like, a DK that actually really communicates everything clear with his team, maybe not necessarily target calling, we can have the warrior do that as well, will make it even higher in this plus. So yeah, I think it's just so vital.
Completely agree.
What about the Frost DK then? What do you think? Why would we put that?
So many people have mentioned. Obviously, I haven't tried any of the new battlegrounds where apparently Frost DK is going to be viable. People have mentioned, for example, Temple of Kot Magu, Frost DK will have its viability, and I can simply assume it's most likely because of the Chillblains and the Howling Blast combination that you can use. So you can keep up with that 50% AoE slow on a lot of people, and that burst damage to get some kills on the orb carriers is going to be quite useful. People have mentioned that outside of Temple of Kot Magu and maybe one or two other BGs that I'm not quite aware of, its usefulness goes down quite fast. That being said, I still think that Frost DK can be quite good. Maybe I'm sipping some sweet copium, and I'm still hoping that the Kata Frost DK dream will continue into MOP. But they're clearly not going to be as good as Unholy DK, I still think. But they still can pump some pretty good damage, and that just have that permanent slow on the enemy players is going to be, I think quite nice. So again, they're going to be very useful. Maybe not in all of the rated battlegrounds. I think it really depends.
Yeah, I actually think for After Storm it could be good because you have the Pillar of Frost, so you don't get knocked. You know, you can pop the Pillar of Frost when you go for the grip knocks. That's actually not bad. Like, you can actually pop that as well for damage, but you can also pop it for anti-knock. When you go for the grip knock, they won't be able to counter knock you. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's true. Completely agree. And you know, they can also use just as a reminder to people that Frost DKs by default have 2 death runes up permanently, unlike any of the other specs. So they can actually pump out some necrotic strikes relatively easy. but again, the Unholy DK kind of has to ramp up the death runes to be able to get those necrotic strikes out. It could still be interesting. It really depends. So, where would I put it? I think they're definitely going. They are going to be somewhat required in some of the battlegrounds. I do believe. So I would say anywhere between A or B tier. I think Frost DK is can be quite valid.
After all, it's still a DK. It brings the grips and the calls and the plays. Maybe a slightly lower damage. But I would still put it like low A or something. I think.
I would agree. I think that's fair.
Like if you have a DK and he says he only plays Frost, he doesn't like Unholy, I would still consider taking him like just because he's a DK, actually.
Yeah.
The grips and stuff.
Yep.
And what the chat thinks about that. Let's see.
And the thing is that there's not going to be much of a difference regarding survivability between an Unholy DK and a Frost DK anymore. In Cataclysm, clearly the Unholy DK in Arena was better. Well, mostly because the extra CC with the pet and stuff like that, which you don't have as a Frost DK. But is it that big of a deal in RBGs? Probably not. And the thing is, the survivability is probably equal now. Some of the talents that were only available for Unholy DKs during Cataclysm, such as Anti-Magic Zone, is now available, to everyone. It's a tier. You can choose between Lichborn, Anti-Magic Zone, or Purgatory, which is like a cheat death for DKs. So.
Also, doesn't Frost DK get the Remorseless Winter? That's over time stun, or is that bot?
That is actually the last tier. So you have a choice between Gorfian's Grasp, Remorseless Winter, or Desecrated Ground. I think no one in reality is going to choose Remorseless Winter. I think it's pretty bad in Arena as well as in RBGs. It's a spell where you have to actually stand beside that person. The stacks have to ramp up to I think 5 stacks before they actually get frozen. I think it's pretty bad. People can dodge that one pretty easily. I think every DK is probably going to play Gorfian's Grasp most of the time.
If it's on the same row, for sure.
Yeah. Maybe there might be some use cases for Desecrated Ground if you're defending. Maybe, I don't know. It really depends.
Yeah, but I think if you're defending, you would go Unholy for the perma pet and stuff like.
Yes, it's true. Yeah. So. You can go Unholy and also play Desecrated Ground if you're defending, but I don't see a use case where you don't have anybody else that's capable of defending, and you have to put the Unholy DK defending. That's kind of monkey, in my opinion. So
maybe for a second or something, but not like, and then he wouldn't change the talent for it. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. So yeah, I think Frost DK is A tier is it's good.
Okay, what specs do we want to do now? Maybe the Fivol just to end up the middies for now.
Yeah, sure.
But the Fivol is. They removed that insta clone, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they have the NS clone. They can still do 1, or can they not do that?
Let me just hop on my Druid real quick, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, because I think maybe they have 1, but it's not like it was in Kata and stuff. But they can like shapeshift the roots now, at least, which they couldn't in Kata. This was the only expensive where they can't shapeshift roots.
Which is going to be exceedingly useful. So.
It says 1 per minute.
I don't think that. I don't think there will be an NS clone, unfortunately, for ferals. I'm looking for it, but I'm not seeing it.
So. Says 1 per minute.
Oh wait, you do have Nature Swiftness. When activate your next clone and taking roots and be Healing Touch Hibernate, so you will have an instant clone, and it will have a 1 minute cooldown. I think, as Publio mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. That's right.
But,
from my understanding, from what I heard, is that the damage output of Feral is not going to be very interesting compared to other classes. I think it's going to be more of like a flag carrying spec if you're going against mostly casters. So you have Symbiosis with Disperse, or for I don't know. They get bubble. I do believe with
Yeah, for defending.
Paladins, right? So yes. So it's I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be that great. I don't think it's gonna be as good as or as useful as Guardian. So
Yeah, I think I would put in B or C. I'm not maybe.
I would agree.
C
I think B or C is
maybe like here with the enhance, like just below them. I don't know.
Yeah, I think C tier is fair. I think it makes more sense to go with a Boomy instead of a Feral. Again, there's if you run a Feral for non-FC maps, it's going to be you're just going to be sitting there defending, you know. But the Guardian can roughly do a somewhat decent job with Cloak of Fire or any of these other trinkets that allow you to spin the flag for enough time until someone can come help. I don't think you need more than 15 or 20 seconds of defending a base. If it takes that long, then you probably have a problem with your team. So
yeah, but also if you will have the Fiddle for ink, you may as well just have the Rogue for inking, you know. Like the Fiddle will be the defender, you know, I mean, most of the time. And the Rogue will
yes,
ink.
for sure.
Let's see, what can we do now? Like, what would be fun? We're talking a little bit about mages in the chat. Maybe we do those next.
Yeah. So I think we can do. I think we do Arcane immediately. I think, let's be real, no one's going to play Arcane.
Nicholas,
I don't know if they're.
talked a bit about it. Nicholas, he actually talked a bit about
Yeah.
the Arcane. You don't really have any defensives. You don't really have any defensives as Arcane.
Yeah. And for me, Arcane is it's much like a Destro lock. If you want to make some plays, you're gonna have to sit in the back, really good positioning to get those Arcane blasts out and to make those plays. And the cast time does, isn't given. I think it's easily interruptible, easily locked out. And if you get locked out on the Arcane pool, then you can't, cast Sheep or counterspell. And I think it's kind of an L in that perspective. You can still, ice block. Sure, why not? But as a Frost mage, it makes more sense. You get locked out on Frost, you can still Sheep, you can still counterspell and stuff like that. So, yeah. So Para, I just noticed. I just want to answer this question. What is he asked? What is Cloak of Fire? Cloak of Fire is a low-level item that allows you to spin the flag. Essentially, what happens is for 15 seconds, it's an on-use cloak, and for 15 seconds you get this fire debuff that will tick 3 times, once every 5 seconds, like an AOE ability, 5 yards around you. So if you use that and you're standing on top of the flag, they can't really ninja cap from you, right? Unless you're sitting in a very well-timed clone, which sometimes they do get off, which is quite annoying.
You can get Typhooned away when you pop it as well.
Yes, you can get Typhoon away. You can get Typhoon away and then blinded, then you're kind of fucked. So.
Let's see here. Why want to put Arcane then?
I think realistically, we probably will see some Arcane mages in RBGs just for the lulz. I'd either put it in C or D tier. I don't know how their damage compares in the first season. I don't know how useful they're going to be in the later seasons, but I don't know. I haven't heard many people, or I haven't heard anybody talk about Arcane mage being any
let's get Nicholas in the chat. He can explain a little bit more about it. It's Anti-Snake, if he's still here. Let's put it here for now, I guess. What about Fire Mage?
I don't know. I don't know much about. I don't know much about mages in general, so I can't really say. I can't really talk much about it. I mean, obviously, if Hansel wasn't here, he'd probably say, "Live the fire mage dream," right? But yeah, I don't know. I just heard that their damage output is not going to be as good as Frost Mage. That's about all I know.
But how to look at it as well, the Combust is doing less, I think. Like, the Combust is doing less, and you can instantly spell it, Like, you get all the buffs, debuffs, if you like the spell. So if it's just fast with dispelling, it will literally do nothing.
Yeah, something that I understood with Fire Mage is that they do get deep freeze. So if you do get the combination of a deep freeze with those instant pyros, I think you could probably pump out a lot of damage.
I think we should put it here in B maybe then.
Yeah, probably. I think that would make sense. I think. Saying double mage is no joke if people aren't prepared for it. Fire mage low B tier. If combined with frost mage, their deeps are deadly as fuck. Don't fire mages also get deep freeze? Isn't that a thing? I don't know.
I'm actually not
I
entirely
don't play
sure.
mage. Yeah, just.
I think they have, because when I played against Flash, he was actually deeping me, I think, when he was playing fire. But I'm not entirely sure. Every spec gets deep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what about the frost mages then?
I think we can all agree that frost mage is a must, and it's probably going to be S plus.
Let's put it right here. Right at S plus.
Yeah.
Just like the control you have as a frost mage itself, like, even if the spec may not be the best, which it is here, like, it still has its place just for the slows and all that. But here it actually does damage.
Yeah.
You have the splitting eyes, I think, where you literally do, like, how is it? Do you know about the splitting eyes?
I do not. I stay away from mages for some reason. I haven't checked them out at all. So
It's
there's not
like
much I can say about them.
your like spells, like they cleave or something with the splitting eyes.
Mm-hmm.
50% damage to a second target. Ice Dance is saying that.
That's really
So
good.
yeah. And the Frozen Orb, of course, a good orb that literally keeps the whole team, and yeah, just the setups, you know. Good setups with a Frost Mage, you can basically like kill people really fast. Of course, the polymorphs in the team fight may not be the best, because you know the clone is a stronger CC and the polish will remove the dots and get dispelled or whatever. But yeah. Ring and Mars script plus orb is insane damage. Yeah, that's true. That's actually crazy. Mist viewers will come to the healers. We will do the GPS and then we'll do the healers afterwards. We should have Valence in here. I don't know if Valence is back, so I really want to have Valence
Yeah,
in
getting
here.
him would be really nice.
Yeah. Real quick. I'll try to type to him.
Yes, something that is going to be quite interesting is that I think many of these frost mages might be playing. You know, for example, I've seen some mages already in the pre-patch playing Nether Tempest, which is that arcane mage like bomb that you kind of place on players, and they just kind of like hit, like do an AoE damage to other players. You have living bomb, you can get frost bomb. It's actually quite nice.
You also have the Nether Tempest that dots as frost.
Yeah,
Like a dot you have.
That's why I just yeah. I mean, you can get Ring of Frost. You have Temporal Shield. Some of the new abilities that Frost mages get is like, Alter Time, really good for extending some of the buffs.
And you also get ported. Like you can like pop it and jump down somewhere, and then you get ported back and with full health, and it's in place.
Yeah, I think with the control they have, the damage output, and all these abilities, just really makes them top tier.
Also, you can easily defend a base if you need to. Like, not from the start maybe, but a double block and everything. Like, it'd be hard to get a base from you. Permapet.
Yeah, for sure.
Put mates on defend. It's a meme with that. Yeah, exactly. Let's do the Shadow Priest actually, and the Boomy afterwards. Yeah, Shadow Priests. Well, I think they are better than in Cataclysm and RBG for sure.
Yeah, I think they definitely have seen an improvement. I just don't know like how their damage is going to be in the first season.
Well, I know it was drafts, games and stuff, but they're really pumping, one-shotting almost and stuff. The drafts, but that's of course not how MOP is gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But you have also that Fiend that can fear people. You can play that, or you can play with mind control, or you can do some plays with that Fiend and mind controls and stuff.
And they also have quite a bit of utility in terms of healing. They are able in Shadow form to cast Renew, Prayer of Mending, and Leap of Faith, which is actually quite nice. I think most teams should probably run a priest, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if a holy priest. I think it's quite nice to have these utilities.
Yeah, exactly. I think the same. Also, I can see a play like if you have like a failed Druid defender, you can like master a bit of rogue and get the bubble or something. Stuff like that.
But I think a good question is a shadow because if you take a shadow priest, what are you replacing it? What are you replacing? Are you replacing it with a warlock? Are you replacing it? Maybe you want to run 2 warlocks, and that second warlock is actually a shadow priest. But if you're actually replacing your warlock with a shadow priest, I think it's not going to be a very good call. I think it's not going to be as much damage, and not much as much utility. So I don't know.
I think it will be instead of a melee like a warrior DK. Like I know from when I played some with Relentless Shadow Priest in Kata, he said as well that the Shadow Priest would take the DK spots back then. Which is maybe not the best trade, but
Didn't Velati mention that he was actually looking into playing Shadow Priest?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. I would like to get his perspective on it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Yeah. I clearly think it's going to be definitely. It's going to be around Elemental Shaman, maybe even a little bit better than Elemental Shaman. I don't know.
It looks wrong to the good thing, I think, but maybe here.
Yeah. The thing that's interesting about Shadow Priest is that they have good CC compared to some of these other classes. Good CC, good utility, and they probably have a respectable amount of damage. I think. Especially below Hunter/Ellie. Really? That's interesting.
One thing I really like about Shadow Priest is like if a rogue stuns the target, the Boomer clones one and the Shadow Priest just use those silences in those times where the healer can't get these spells. Can be really strong with that as well.
Yeah. But if you look at it in general, it's like, is it going to be better than an Enhancement Shaman, a Pharaoh, Assassination Rogue, Arcane Mage? Absolutely. I think there's no question about that. Is it going to be as good as a Frost DK? It's questionable. It's questionable. As good as Ellie, or as useful as an Ellie Fire Mage? Yeah, probably. I think B tier makes a lot of sense.
Also, Valenci will join in 3 minutes. He just wrote to me, so we can get his perspective as well and maybe make some changes.
Oh, that'd be great.
It's really good. Let's do the Boomkin then. But yeah, I just want to say again, like the extra grip, like just have a grip in the flag carrier maps, Warsong and stuff is really huge. Even double gripping, and also in deep wind you can grip the card carrier through when he runs through the middle and stuff. So, pretty huge. And what is he saying here? It's just because of the fear diminishing return. You will always have a Warlock on the team, otherwise Shadow Priest would be S tier for the fears if you don't have a luck.
That's probably a very valid point.
Okay. Boomkins.
Yeah. So, my 2 cents on Boomy is that they're obviously not going to do as much damage as in Cataclysm. I think their damage is going to be. I think the damage should be average, maybe a little bit above average. I think obviously DKs and locks are going to do more damage than Boomies. I don't know about Frost Mages in general. For the first, Boomkin has the highest AoE burst for the first 3 seconds, says Dining. I probably agree with that.
They get that Incarn.
Yeah. The Incarnation is going to be really strong. I think the thing that Boomies, the main thing that actually makes Boomies extremely viable in your RBG team is more the utility. They have the clones are going to be extremely important. Well-timed clones on on some of the enemy players when they're trying to get a kill, or you trying to get a kill, just get a clone on a healer. It's going to be really huge. The fact you have Typhoon for the pushback on the melees are going to be extremely valuable. The fact that you're going to have Solar Beam and Vortex, those two combinations together are just going with the Mass Grip is just going to be, something you it's a must-have, right? So from that perspective, I think it's more about the utility than the actual damage that they provide. So I don't know what Relance thinks. He just joined.
What's up, guys? Yeah, what's up, guys?
Hey, Evidence, welcome in.
Tier list is looking interesting.
Yeah, tell us how we've been doing. Do you agree with some of the decisions we've made?
Where's Boomy, actually?
We're
actually talking about.
We want to talk about them now, actually. Maybe you would talk a little about Boomies. What do you think about them? To start off with. Maybe I. Yeah.
That's difficult. I just need to think a little bit. I literally just came in the door, so I'm looking.
Oh yeah. I would just say what we're talking a little bit about Boomkin, and say the Vortex for the Mass Grip and Beam and stuff, and of course you have Clones Team Fight. You can also ink with the Rogue and stuff, and you can also defend a base if necessary if the Rogue is doing something sneaky.
As well as the fact they bring Symbiosis, which is.
Yeah, I would put Boomy in S+ tier purely based on the fact they have the most OP CC in the entire game. Clone is just too strong, man. And I think a good Boomy in a team fight can carry pretty much with clones, and you can basically CC 3 targets at once. You bring the Solar Beam, of course, if you play with the DK, with the Mass Grip. You've got the Beam and the Mass Grip synergy there. So a good Boomy is going to be root beaming one guy, bashing another guy, NS cloning another guy. He's going to be cloning a target that just gets a bunch of CDs on him and he's low HP, and he's going to be swapping that clone to another target. I think Boomy's S+ for sure, yeah.
I mean, those kind of plays you're going to only see at really high ratings. I think most Boomies won't know or won't have the knowledge or the insight to make those plays. And I would agree. If it's a really good Boomy, then it could really change the direction of a game for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the Mage in S+ as well. By the way, I think Mage just has it can play both the Rot style with Nether Tempest. It can play. It's good at defending. It's one of the highest burst classes in the game. Incredible CC, just it's what you want, and especially on maps like Temple of Kot Mogu, when you've got a class that needs to be taken out of the game. He's got high stacks, he's been holding an orb for a while. Mage is one of the best targets to do that, because you can get in, you can just use your Ice Lances, you can use CS on a healer and just take people out. So I think yeah, Frost Mage for sure, the best class in RBGs.
Mm-hmm. And I would love to get your input also on Fire Mage and Arcane Mage.
So it's interesting. Fire Mage, if you guys remember this guy called Hansol, maybe some people in chat know who he is. He's an NA guy. He played some Blitz actually. I think if people watched him play Blitz, he's really fucking good. He used to play Fire in MOP. I never touched the spec, and I was playing it a bit in pre-patch and watching. There's a Fire Mage streaming 2s with Mimpoike, and I think it has no, not ZQI, it was another guy.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. But yeah, I think Fire Mage has got if a target doesn't have Trinket, Fire Mage can one-shot anything. So maybe some Smarty Pants mages will play Fire. I don't think Arcane will be played unless you're really trying to be a Smarty Pants.
Yeah, I remember the Hansel clips doing MOP and RBGs when he got invited in RBGs with Bylamos, I think he played with. And when there was a mass grip and everything, and the amount of damage he would pump out on the enemy team, and just wipe the whole enemy team as fire, is actually quite interesting.
I think maybe around like lower MMR, people will be able to play fire and stuff. Yeah, the Rough Mage X is the guy. That guy Bayern Munich München said his name. But I think like certain classes in high rating are quite easy to shut down. So like, for example, melee classes at high rating will be more difficult to play because people will kite you better with gateway, with grips, with their mobility. But I think, and then certain classes like Fire Mage, you'll be looking out for those one shots more than you would be at like lower rating. So maybe like Fire Mage will be popular low rating just for as a fun spec, but probably never going to be played over Frost in high rating.
I mean, wouldn't it be the same argument as in Cataclysm, where Fire Mage is that one class that's going to be doing that big burst damage, and they're still able to get that damage out regardless?
No, Fire Mage is completely changed in MOP. It's going to be really different. It's literally like a single target spec. No.
Okay.
We got some strong opinions in chat here. What they Shadow Priest is not B tier. I think a good Shadow Priest is better than a Frost DK. I see you've put Frost DK in. Personally, I would have Shadow in A. I wouldn't put it S, but like a good Shadow Priest can also have a huge impact in a team fight, I think. And also like in 2v2s, where for example, you got like a Guardian Druid, he's defending the base, right? He's got his Trinket and Bubble. The Shadow Priest alone can CC the Guardian Druid. He can Master Spell his Bubble, he can fear him, he can Mind Control him.
Well, he has to be feral to get the bubble. As Guardian, he doesn't get the bubble.
He doesn't get the bubble as Guardian? Well,
no, he gets some
if he's feral, then I think ferals will be defending as feral then, if they choose that over Boomkin.
Yeah.
For the bubble.
Exactly.
It's a really good insight. It's things I think about.
But maybe we should finish with the Warlocks and the healers, and then we should try move people around a bit after that, just to get everyone like a spot on the list.
I agree. I think that's a good idea.
Let's go with the Warlocks then. Start with the demo maybe. Or which one do you want to start with?
In the first season of MOP, everybody played demo before they played Deathstroke. It was really OP for some reason. This was like when warriors were like able to one-shot things. I remember you played like two demo locks, and you did like the big mass grip wombo combo because it had like Chaos Wave, and then they changed something about demo. I can't remember because Warlock, to be honest, is one of the classes that I've never really properly played, so I don't know much about it. But I think so we played pre-patch RBGs with Golsane, that guy. Yeah. He is gonna try to make demo work, and I think in 2s, Melby has been playing with the demo lock. So I think maybe it's gonna be one of those classes where somebody's like a specialist on the class, and they can do some crazy shit if they can pull it off. So you'll bring them for that reason, which that's like the main reason why MOP is going to be really fun, because you can make almost any class work, I think, if you're a good player. So I don't know what to rank it though. Maybe like B tier, because it's definitely not C tier, but it's a Warlock is a Warlock, right? You're still bringing all the other shit like Fear, Port, all this kind of stuff.
Do you want to put it like low or like middle, or what do you think?
About the same as Fire Mage, I'd say. Like this, basically kind of like the same theme as a Fire Mage, right? Yeah, Spunk, I'm fucking hyped, bro, for MOP, man. I'm actually so excited.
Mega hype.
Did a little bit of sleeping today to stay up a bit late tonight.
Pre-sleeping, bro. Awesome.
Yeah, Affleys has definitely got to go to S+.
Yeah, I think that's well, without a question.
You say, I don't know. Would you put it higher than Frost or just like here or what?
In my opinion, between Frost and Boomy.
Yeah.
No, I
But
would agree.
all these top 3 classes, you need at least one of them. I think. Like you need a Frost Mage, you need a Athlete, you need a Boomy.
Yeah, I think so
Yep.
too.
There's not really much to be said. I think everyone knows how strong Athlete, Warlock is, like the UAs, everything.
We saw
But
even
it's
in the
just-
pre-patch, like when I dispelled, like if there was 2 Warlocks or 1, like even from 50% plus HP, I could almost die from just 1 Warlock. Like if I took a little bit damage same time, it was crazy. It's probably gonna be less in MOP, but that the unstable is just so crazy, and it also takes away, like priest cannot even master spell a lot then and stuff because they will die.
Do we have any Warlocks besides Zanowski in the chat? Maybe they can. I think most Warlocks would agree that Warlock is really strong in MOP. Like I've played it a tiny bit, so I know they made it so you can spread your dots around with Soul Swap like much easier, which is like one of the main. And like a good Warlock will be able to snapshot his dots and all this other smarty pants tech. So I think most people would agree.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's not much to say more about unstable affliction or affliction warlocks.
Episode
What do you
1
say?
with the Survival Hunter S+.
Mm.
I think people are sleeping on Hunter. I think Hunter's going to be quite good. If you're like... So, the thing about Hunter, I don't know if you mentioned this, but I think in MOP, right, certain classes are just unmatched when it comes to base defending. 1v1s, this kind of thing. I think having someone on your team who can defend the base, even in like 1v2 situations, maybe kill someone before they take it, this kind of thing, you'll be... You know, like the peace of mind you have knowing that that base is completely safe and you don't have to like really worry about peeling somebody out, this kind of thing. This will be huge, and I think good hunters will be able to do this like really well. They have like the knockbacks, they have the stealth. I think good hunters in RBG will be slept on, maybe like hidden OP. So
A very valid point, I can.
Yeah.
and Spunk, of course, he's saying he will leave any group with a hunter in. So
I'm a bit on with Spunk on that. I'm not coping with Hunters. I kinda hate the class, but time will tell. I think I'm good.
Well, the thing is, I will probably be playing with episode at some point with his hunter, and I know like that there's some hunters you could just trust, and it's true. Like in Cataclysm Season 9, it's like episode. It's just when he would go somewhere, he would get it. It's like he's like I'm gonna go Ninja Cap against this Pharaoh. He'd get it 100%. It's really hard to counter this, and defending is quite easy for hunters. A good hunter can defend for a long time, as Relance indicated. So
yeah,
I could. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. Finish your. I'll yap after.
No, the last thing I just want to say is like, with what you said, Relance, I would agree that maybe we could even put Survival Hunter like a little bit higher, along with the Shadow Priest and the Frost DK. I think that's it's no brainer in the end. So.
Yeah, no, I was thinking back to the RPGs we played on the private server, and obviously private server isn't going to be exactly how it is in MOP. There's a few like buggy interactions and certain things not working as they should. But I remember this hunter called Jimmy, and he was really good in the 1v1 bracket, and he joined the RBG drafts one time, and we went to take his base on Gilneas, and it was mines, and I remember he was spinning me for so long with his pet, and he was in stealth, and he was using shadow meld, and he was being like real smarty pants about like holding his base, and I just ever since this moment I've like thought to myself, a good hunter is going to be like a nightmare in MOP. So and hunter was really difficult. Like, so they had a 1v1 bracket on Shaylun, and it was like pumping in that bracket for some time, and then some really good players started playing the 1v1 bracket, and hunter was like almost impossible for Frost Mage. Like a good hunter felt like impossible to kill. So I'm just like, yeah, in these like smaller team fights, like smaller situations, maybe Hunter's just gonna be Giga. But I feel like we're glazing Hunters a bit too hard here. Maybe move on to the
Yeah,
next
I
class.
moved it up to A as well.
Yeah, I think it's valid.
And distro luck.
So I've played. I'm actually going to be maining Destro for PvE. So I played it a bit in pre-patch. I haven't played it in MOP, but I think that they are going to be quite interesting, especially if they're able to, get some chaos bolts out. The fact that you can slap havoc on one person and cast chaos bolt and get 2 chaos bolts going out. The only issue is that at higher MMR, they're going to get locked out quite quickly. They do have ways to counter this with abilities like Unending Resolve, which is like an 8-second ability that prevents spells
Or
from being
mastery.
interrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Aura Mastery for Warlocks, exactly, which is going to be quite good. Also, their Rain of Fire is going to be something that's going to be easily. It's probably something that's easily overlooked. I don't know if this is something that Destruction gets or every class gets, but you can literally drop it anywhere, and you can build your Burning Embers very quickly. Burning Embers is like the Warlock Shards of Cataclysm. It kind of changes in MOP, and you can literally slap Brain of Fire a little bit on anyone on the enemy team. You can build those Burning Embers quite quickly, and something that some people have indicated that doesn't seem to be very used in PvP for Destro Warlocks is this ability called Fire and Brimstone. Essentially, your Immolate, when you activate this, your Immolate, Incinerate, Conflagrate, and Curse spells consume a Burning Ember when used. But what it does is it will hit all targets within 10 yards of the target you're focusing, and it will deal 50% of that damage to all targets around, which is quite interesting because it provides more AoE damage than you would expect. And also something not to overlook is their finishing, their killing blow, Shadowburn. I don't know if it's something that Destros get or I think all Warlocks get, but something extremely strong. So
Yeah. So one thing about Destro, I kind of look at it in the same way as Fire Mage and Kata. So I was looking at some old. I'm going to go off a bit of tangent here, but I was looking at some screenshots from right at the very beginning of Kata, and my combustions. I took screenshots whenever I was doing like a huge combustion, and my combustions were actually doing more damage at the beginning of Kata than they were at the end of Kata because people were stacking up, people weren't like dispelling it. I was able to get like really like just fat combustions. People had like lower resi and stuff, and I think in general people hadn't really figured out how to counter Fire Mage. By the end of Kata, this was like the opposite. If you blinked anywhere close to the healers, you would have like a Warlock like fearing you instantly. The Rogue would like be stepping, cheaping you, this kind of thing. But at the start of Kata, you could do almost whatever you wanted on Fire Mage, and people wouldn't really stop you. And I think it's going to be the same for Destro Warlock. I think they're going to, like at the beginning when people are figuring stuff out, you're going to have like really good Destro locks. They're going to be finding clever places to stand in like the team fight, picking somebody to Chaos Bolt, and like finding good targets and in the chaos of the first few weeks. But then I think as the weeks get on and people get more like just know how to counter the class a bit more as the weeks go by. Probably Destro is going to be countered a bit more, and people are going to, like, why would you bring a Destro lock when you can bring a Frost Mage who can do almost the same damage but without getting interrupted? Like you're just going to have these choices, and I think this will be like a theme in this will be like a common thing in MOP. Whenever you are making a decision, do you bring this guy or this guy? A lot of the classes like Fire Mage, Destro, they kind of need to be ignored in the team fight to do their thing. So yeah, I think it's going to be good if you leave it alone and let it cast, obviously. But who's going to let that happen really in a good game?
But would you agree that though that Destro Warlocks can get really good damage out without even having to cast Chaos Bolt. I mean, just looking at Fire and Brimstone, which is an ability that, again, it causes like an AoE effect on the targets within 10 yards. I mean, you could literally just slap Rain of Fire everywhere, build your fire, your embers, and then just use mainly those abilities until you have you have a good setup to cast a Chaos Bolt. I mean, for example, you could literally do an AoE Conflagrate, which not only does a decent amount of damage, but also applies a slow. And I'm assuming this may also apply a similar slow to. Does it apply a slow to? Yeah, I don't know if it actually applies a slow to everybody around, but I don't know. It could
depends.
be.
Because obviously a good Destrolog will be able to get good damage out, but I don't think like the damage, the non-Chaos Bolt damage of a Destrolog is like that much more useful. Like damage is damage, right? On the scoreboard, you're gonna look like you're doing good damage, but there's different damage profiles. Like Frost Mages are doing like huge Ice Lance crits and like taking chunks of your HP off at a time. I don't think like having Immolates spread on a few different targets, like Rain of Fire down, unless it's in like a full rot meta. If you're playing this style where you're not like one-shotting people or like taking people's heads off, you would just rather have a Athlete Lock. Or at least this is how I would approach it. Like if your Destro Lock isn't getting Chaos Bolts off, why would you bring him? That's basically what it boils down to, really.
No, I completely agree with you, and I'm not saying that they're going to be as good as Affliction Warlock. I just think, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
What if you play like double Warlock, let's say double Athlete, and one of them can go Destro like called Mogo or like other maps? I think that could be very interesting if you can like flick between those two, maybe.
Yeah. I think the issue is, I mean, assuming you do want a Warlock in Temple Cup Magu and you do send them to kill orbs, no one in reality is going to let you get the Chaos Bolt off. It's such a long cast. I assume it's going to get better with gear when you have a little bit more haste by default. But I mean, just looking right now in pre-patch on my character that's full Cataclysmic gear, it's a 2.85 second cast. And again, remember, we don't have Hero or Bloodlust in MOP RBGs and Arena, so to be able to get them out quickly is not going to be a thing, in my opinion.
I actually have some interesting screenshots that I can share.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible for you to, if I share my screen and you open them on stream, but
yeah, you can.
Some really interesting.
Just send it to me on Discord. I can show it.
Oh yeah, sure, I can do that. I'll do that while you guys.
Doesn't someone is mentioning that Backdraft, which is an ability or a buff you get from Conflagrate, actually affects Chaos Bolt at level 86. I'm not actually seeing that anywhere within the.
Or you can
Oh,
just
Chaos Bolt will be
share.
affected. Yes, you're right.
You can just
So
screen share Valence. That's cool. I can just.
Oh yeah,
perfect.
sure. It's probably easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the person in the comment actually makes a good point. He's completely right. You do get a passive ability called Pyroclasm at level 86, where your Backdraft, which reduces the casting requirement for Incinerate, will also affect Chaos Bolt by 30%. So it's a 30% reduced cast time, which is quite nice.
Yeah, let's try to drag this screenshot into the screen here. Yeah. If people can see it in a second. Yeah, I think you can see it.
If you maximize that, maybe so so you can see here, this was pre-nerf Destrologs, and people were playing double. Can you like shift it over to the right a bit so you can see the enemy team?
Oh yeah, just because it's a bit scuffed on the screen. I'll do like this. And
Wait,
like
if you
this.
full screen it.
Oh yeah, it's
okay.
Oh fuck.
And then like this, and then just drag it to the left.
Yeah.
And then make it bigger. Yeah. Well, you can see on Battleground targets anyway. So people were playing. This was pre-nerf. People were playing double Warlock. This is season 12. This is when everything was really OP. And one thing I want to point out is you see in all these games, the Warlock has got He's got basically top killing blows in most of the games, and this is like one of the strengths of Destro Warlock is it brings like the best execute like in the game almost. Like it's better than Shadow Word Death, it's better than execute. More often than not, if the target reaches 20% and you press Shadow Burn, that target usually dies. So that's like giga. And so we played with one Destro Warlock. This was basically the first season that I got like proper hero in. And we played double Boomy actually in this season. But we just had like big massacre comp, and Warlock was usually either top damage or top killing blows in most of the games. And you can see we were playing against some really good teams here, a lot of Russian teams. But this was like the old gladiators, like this is Vilde. If anyone played back then, you probably recognize some of these names. But yeah, I just wanted to show like, so I think it's not going to be as strong as this used to be, the Destro Warlocks, but they're definitely going to be useful, I think. Wait, which team? Soap is on this team? Let's have a look. Let's try and find Soap. The Russian team. Ah, okay. This one. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I think it's going to be super interesting because when I heard the MOP was going to be released on the final patch, this was like quite big because obviously MOP Season 1 was a crazy time. Everything was just a giga OP. Now I think everything's a bit more under control in terms of like how strong things are. So I don't know. I think good Destro locks will still be good, but I think just prepare to get focused. You know, like be ready to get trained by DK Warrior and Rogue.
Should we put them A then, or what do you think? Like here? Or...
Probably like, yeah, A tier is fair. Yeah, behind SP, I would say. Zanowski was.
Do we want the Hunter above the SP then? Or do we want the Hunter?
No, I would. SP is probably more useful than a Hunter. But...
I'll just move the Hunter a little bit down for now then as well.
You think it should be higher or lower, Fake Trinket? Because I'm actually, my two classes I'm choosing are Mage and SP to level first. And I think SP is going to be decent. I know it's weak in Arena on the beta, but yeah, lower? Interesting. Yeah, I think Ellie and Shadow Priest are like these classes which, if they're not like pumping the numbers, they're probably on the weaker side. But I feel like the CC and the setups you can do with SP make it quite strong. Just reading the chat here.
Yeah.
Zero haste, yeah. Interesting. Maybe I don't play it. Are you leveling your Shadow Priest, Fake Trinket?
Aircraft is indicating it's hard to keep a Shadow Priest alive. And for CC, you have to stand inside the opponents. I'm assuming he's referring to the Psychic Scream.
Yeah, I just remember at the end of season, I played Shadow Priest at the end of MOP, and I just remember I was basically setting up everything with the rogue. Like, he would cheap shot something, in the same second he would cheap shot something, I would fear the other target, silence the other target into like a disarm, purging. Like, you've got quite decent like on-demand damage with your 3-orb Devouring Plague, and if your dots are out, like, you're basically getting like Mind Blast procs and Mind Spike procs all the time. But I guess with low gear, I haven't really played it, so...
Well, I can say, like, in the pre-patch drafts as well, I know it doesn't compare, but you mind control them in the water and shit, and feared minutes of. It was really fucking frustrating actually. So when you played your Shadow Priest. So I think it's good. I think it's fine to have it like A.
Yeah, I just think also like in the 2v2 situations, like on bases and stuff, SB can be quite good. But then again, it all depends on the numbers. And like Fake Trinket said, he's like one of the best Shadow Priests in MOP. So if you don't have the haste and you don't have like the stats, your class isn't going to be good. So that's I don't know. I'll level it and see when I get there if it's unplayable. Yeah,
should
he's
we
really
move a
big.
little bit around with the DPS before we do the healers, or do you want to put in the healers first? What do you think, guys?
I think what we can do is we can start off with the healers that we know are kind of not that good or questionable. I think we should start with the Resto Shaman and then move onwards. Resto Shaman and Disc Priest, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, Resto Shaman, it has like not the best CDs, but it can like. Does it still dispel curse as well when you dispel? Do you know that, Valence?
It does.
Yeah.
I have a Shaman. Let me just swap to the Shaman so I can just take a look at it at the same time.
I don't know anything about Resto Shaman. I just know they're crap, and like all the people who played on beta were saying like they're not that good in an arena. Like the other healers are just simply better to bring.
Yeah.
Like they're better in like very specific comps, I think. But in RBG, I don't see them being played, to be honest.
Yeah. So the Purified Spirit does remove all magic and curse effects on the target. And in my opinion, the thing that made Resto Shaman somewhat viable in Cataclysm was simply because they could spam that dispel, and it would dispel 2 abilities compared to other classes that could only dispel 1 thing at a time, which was very powerful. Essentially, they would just rotate between dispelling and riptiding and keeping Earth Shield up and having those permanent totems down. Now in MOP, you don't have permanent totems. Every totem is now a cooldown. For example, your Healing Stream totem is something you drop down and it has a 30-second cooldown, so it's not something you can keep up all the time. However, it probably does affect your whole raid instead of just the party group, right? Party or raid members, exactly within 40 yards every 2 seconds. So, and it does benefit from Mastery, which increases the healing done when targets are lower HP, if that hasn't changed since, based on your target's current health. So it's nice, but it's not going to be as good as in Cataclysm, which already then wasn't the best healer you can take. Only the very skilled players would have I'm obviously talking about Mackie here, would have a spot in some of those teams, and they would play around the fact that they have a Resto Shaman with good positioning, stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, of course, in the best teams, like you can play almost like E-heroes would be able to play almost any class, right? I don't think we should look at that team as like an example, right? They're just like very they're just the best players. They can play whatever they want, really. I didn't really realize this about the glyph of Healing Rain. Does it give you, like, if you dispel a UA with it, does it give you the silence, or is it? That's interesting. But my take on Resto Shaman and all healers, and this comes from purely from like being healed by these classes in RBG. You notice it when a Holy Priest saves you with Guardian. You notice it when a Holy Pala saves you with Bop or these big cooldowns. So I love these classes which have like big cooldowns that you can use. And I think if the meta is like a setup based meta where people are swapping around doing like CC one guy, kill the other guy, having these classes which can save you with one button is really big. This is why I'm not certain about Resto Druid, because I feel like outside of Ironbark, their healing output overall is really good, but they are healing like the rot meta, I think, instead of the burst meta. So We need to
Yeah.
wait and see about that. I think Resto Shaman will probably be good in the rot meta too. So
Do we put it B
I'm
versus
also.
Shaman, or what do you think for now? Like here?
probably
I
like C.
think, yeah, I'd probably put it around C. Is yeah. The thing is, like, Resto Shaman, they pump like Resto Shaman can pump heals if they can cast, right? The healing is extremely high for a single target healing. It's just, I think their utility outside of this casting is quite low compared to some of these other healers we're going to have. Also, the survivability is extremely questionable. They have, I think, maybe like one defensive, which is like the Astral Shift, which reduces damage taken by 40%. I mean, it's not that great. It has long cooldown. Out of that, you don't really have much more for survivability. Maybe like Earth Grab Totem if you want to get away. You know, their mobility compared to some of the other classes is not that great. I mean, Ghost Wolf is okay, but you can't cast while in Ghost Wolf. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Mhm. Okay, what about the
Also,
Disc Priest? Yeah.
Disc sucks, I think. D.
yeah,
D.
I think in chat that was mentioned much earlier in the stream was that Disc Priests have a lot of mana issues compared to Holy Priest.
Yeah, and like I also said that, like in Kata, Disc was used in Arena, but in MOP you even use Holy in Arena as well. So I don't see why you would use it in RBG the Disc Priest.
Yeah, and probably Holy Priest has more potential for AoE healing. I don't know if that's true or not compared to Disc Priest, but yeah.
Yeah. If anyone ever asks, like, what's the best healer for like somebody who wants to get into RBGs, I would just say play a Holy Priest, because your playstyle is really fun and simple, and you can do some really good things for your team if you're paying attention. So just like you spread your renews on your team, and you use like the healing procs that you get. Then you throw out your cascade or your Halo. I don't know which is going to be best actually, because you have these 3 talents that you can play. I remember people used to play Cascade quite a lot, but this playstyle seems really fun. If I was ever going to heal in MOP, it would definitely be on a Holy Priest.
Wasn't the last tier the Cascade, the Halo, and I think it's called Star or something like that? Weren't they just an L? It's like an L tier. Like none of those spells were actually like any good. I don't know. That's what I remember is that they were just okay. There wasn't like one that was like an actual really good spell. Now, just a reminder, we have Cascade, Divine Star, and Halo. So
I don't remember. I remember for Shadow, because obviously Shadow has like the the DPS equivalent of those 3 spells. I remember Cascade was really cool for Shadow, and it was decent. I imagine it's probably just the same for Holy Priest. You basically just throw it out on cooldown.
yeah, I would agree.
I think is there a talent where it's what's it called? It's where you like heal something or do damage to something below 35%, and you get
Twist
like a
of Fate.
boost. Twist of Fate, yeah, that's it. So like pressing Cascade, you have a good chance to proc this because it can like bounce to a pet. It can bounce to.
That's a really good insight. So just a reminder, Twist of Fate is after damaging or healing a target below 35% health, you deal 15% increased damage and healing for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And this talent would be choosing Overpower Infusion, which increases the spell haste by 20%, all damage by 5%, and reducing mana cost of all spells by 20%, which lasts 20 seconds and has a 2-minute cooldown. Or 2-minute cooldown.
So the three healers so the team that I've agreed to play with, I think we're gonna run Holy Pala, Holy Priest, and then either a Monk or a Druid, depending on which is better. I've even like speculated that 2 Holy Paladins will be good too, because I think Holy Paladins have like potentially the highest output of all healer classes. Like I just have this feeling. but I'm not 100% sure how it's gonna work out.
I think I would somewhat agree with that in the perspective, as well as, I mean, the fact that the Holy Paladins have clemency, which is just huge, having that double freedom, double hand of sack. It's, you know, it's hard to beat, you know. So I think the utility as well, the healing output is going to be quite nice. I think Holy Priest is. If we were going to rate it, I'd probably say S tier at the very least. So A or S tier.
Yeah, it will be S, I guess.
Then we have a what?
What would you put it at, Relance, Holy Priest?
Holy Priest in S.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. There's something in the chat here. They're writing a lot. Okay, and then rest of Druids. It's probably gonna be A then.
I think it's very based on the skill level of the Resto Druid. I think a Resto Druid, a really good Resto Druid, can have an extremely high impact within the team. I mean, if you just look at the mobility with the Splicer Beast, you know, the Stampeding Roar, some of the talents, maybe even, you know, Vortex, Disorienting Roar, you could choose, really depending on the situation. And the healing output is going to be really strong. I think if melees are going to have a hard time, I don't think a Resto Druid is going to be a very good kill target just because of Displacer Beast.
Where would you put them, Villains? Would you put them S or A, rest of Druids then?
Oh god, Rest of Druid's hard. I think it has potential to be S+, but
I would agree.
the thing about Rest of Druid, I feel like out of all the healers, which you, if you swap to them when they don't have hots, they haven't like pre-hotted themselves, they're probably like the most in danger of dying. So I think it's gonna be like high skill cap class. You need like a really good player on Rest of Druid, like Spunk or someone like that.
But having an extra symbiosis on the team and an extra stealther can go a long way in some of the strats.
What, like, for example, what would it do?
Well, just because you have an extra stealther, you can make some plays. You know, for example, like if you wanted to, maybe if the Druid, if you're playing Night Elf, you can use the Shadow Meld and go to stealth when in combat and move towards with the Rogue to go for Ninja Cap if it allows for that play. It's not something that's going to happen very often, but just having that extra stealther can be quite nice.
Yeah, it could be good in
Yeah.
maybe, but yeah, we talked a bit about that yesterday when I bring it up, and you guys turned it down pretty hard. So yeah, I'm afraid
Did
to
we?
talk about that again. Yeah, you guys turned it down pretty hard, honestly.
Wait, what did we turn down?
4 healing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a full healing enjoyer, unfortunately.
Same.
And also one of the talents that we haven't really talked about is for the rest of Druids or Druids in general is that last tier, the Heart of the Wild. You have Dreamus Cenarius and Nature's Vigil. So just a reminder, Heart of the Wild is a pretty crazy ability that affects your non-current spec. So if you're Restoration and you, for example, go into cat form, your agility, hit, chance, and expertise will be increased by quite a bit, right? And you can actually do some significant damage while having that up. And it could be an interesting ability to use. It has a really long cooldown, but it actually lasts for 45 seconds, you know. And good druids using this in arena can actually pump quite a surprising amount of damage.
Yeah, but do we put them? I would say below the Holy Priest then, like maybe just below them. But if it's a really good player, of course, it would be really good to bring one. And if they don't get trained, and they can stay in the back and stuff. Like the problem with them is if they have to go bear and stuff and pre-bear the stuns and be a bit rough, I
Yeah.
guess. But
Yeah. Also want to point out, I agree with Fake Trinket that that it is a very long CD, and I think most druids are going to play Nature's Vigil, which is a 1.5 minute cooldown, and it just increases your healing and damage output when you do single target healing. It will also affect a nearby enemy target of the
There's a
healing
lot of
done.
people. There's a lot of people saying Mistweaver is going to be S plus, and thing is, I don't want to predict anything to do with healers because I feel like healing is all about output, the healing profile, and yeah, just like your healing output and exactly how your healing works. So are you like healing with HOTS? Are you like doing big chunky heals to save people, or this kind of thing? So yeah, Monk probably gonna be Giga.
yeah, their monk
Yeah,
is like
the thing that really makes I think Mistweavers kind of stick out is, you know, obviously their insane mobility, the cooldowns that they have. Obviously, you know, all monks have this, but just having the fact that you have diffuse magic, which is all incoming damage, all magical damage by 90%, could be quite nice when it comes to like their mass dispelling in a sense. Could be quite good. They have teleport. They have Tiger's Lust, which, you know, increases the speed of anybody on the team. It takes them out of roots. Very helpful for the melees that might need it. They have. I don't know if Zen meditation is a thing for Mistweavers, but at least for Windwalkers, it's a
yeah,
thing. That
it
is.
is a thing as well for me.
Then it would be huge. Just a reminder: Zen meditation reduces all damage taken by 90%. It reduces up to 5 harmful spells cast against party and raid members. So, you know, if you're in a picky situation with a lot of damage going out, you can go hide in a corner, run that ability, and the next 5 spells will just be redirected to you and reduced by 90%, which is, I think, quite useful. As well as that, I mean, Cocoon is a really good defensive ability to help your team. I mean, I think there's not much to say more about it. It's just a overall really strong healer class. The only downside is that it's very prone to being interrupted because of them having to cast Soothing Mist or that whatever that channeling ability is to get the heals out. That's the only downside I think towards Mistweaver.
But again,
But
drop
one of
the
the
healing spheres, the orbs as well, you know.
Exactly. The healing spheres are going to be really strong as well. And something I think that is overlooked is that Mistweavers is the one class that I think they don't they become immune to CC after being CC'd once for like 6 seconds or something?
It's
No,
with the
if
stuns.
you get stunned, it's like a
Stuns,
short
I guess.
3 or 4 seconds. What you're
Yeah,
just
3 or 4
immune.
seconds. Which is really strong. I mean,
Yeah, it's OP.
I think we should put them S plus. Don't you think so? Like this
Yeah.
year or something. Or
yeah.
and the
So
Paladin.
yeah, Feng Trick is saying immune to everything for 4 seconds after getting stunned, which is it's crazy.
And Paladin, we already talked a lot about them. Do you also put them as plus, you think? Like maybe just below the Mistweaver, or what do you think? Like about the Mistweaver? Maybe above actually. Maybe Paladin here. Because I cannot see you will not bring a Holy Paladin. Like I think you need one for buffs, sacks and freedoms. I think it's the one healer like that you actually would always play with, to be honest.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I'm like hesitating to like predict anything, but I think Holy Pala either S plus or S. Yeah.
But would you
The
put a
question I'm
Mistweaver
asking is
ahead?
like, would you play without one of these classes? I think yes, you would play without a Resto Druid. Yes, you would play without a Priest. Would you play without a monk or a holy pala? I'm not sure. I think, especially in the first season, there's going to be lots of warriors running around. So like having bop, freedom, all this kind of stuff would be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rollins makes a good point. I think S plus is going to be classes that it's must have, right?
Yeah, I'm unsure about Unholy DK being a must, by the way. I know a lot of people think that's like 100%, you always have to have a DK, but my take is like, there's actually not that many good DKs in RBGs that can really make the most of the class. Would I rather have like an extra Frost Mage in that spot? If there's like the option to bring like a Giga Frost Mage over like an average DK, I would choose the Frost Mage. I would be totally fine playing without a DK, but
if you had a choice between a Giga Unholy Decay or a Giga Frost Mage, who would you choose?
DK, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the classes, if we were like going by the actual strengths of the class, yeah, 100% S plus. But I think realistically, I don't know how many good I can think of like one or two maybe that I would really want to play with.
Let's put it down in S tier, I guess, like here.
I mean, wouldn't this be the same argument for like Boomies and Warlocks?
Where's Athlete? Oh, there it is. Yeah, yeah. I guess so. I guess if you start bringing in all these like caveats, you would change the list around a bit. But
I think we should assume that the listings is people that know their class and know how to play it to a good degree. You know.
Yeah. Let's keep it consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this argument could be applied. You know, if they're not good, there could be like a lower rate, lower tier. But I think it could be applied to any of these classes actually. You know, if they can't play the class to the best of their abilities. Now, is Unholy DK? Is it harder to find a good Unholy DK versus a good priest, a good Frost Mage, for example? Probably. I think you might be right regarding that. So, and I don't know why that's the case.
I think put Rogue in S plus as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I agree with Liski.
Yeah. Please keep the clips coming, Fake Drinker. I love seeing all this stuff. I linked the VOD that he linked, by the way, just showing some of the classes. Like, obviously, it's the first season on last season gear, so it's a bit funky, but you can see basically there's not really many surprises in there. Like, you don't see a priest on the enemy team. You see they're playing with a Holy Pala, Mistweaver, Resto Druid, and I typed it in chat, but like I know the Resto Druid in that clip on the enemy team, she also plays a priest, so interesting to see why she like actually chose to play Resto Druid instead of priest.
Yeah. Let's now we placed everyone, like for now at least. Let's talk a little bit about if there's anything you obviously think, even the people from the chat or one of us, if there's some class you want to move around.
I think the one thing that's kind of shocking to me regarding this list is that there's so many in S plus. S plus, you know, if you're looking at a definition perspective, should be those classes that have, you know, huge exceptional potential, you know, and a huge impact within the game. I think S tier by itself, its definition, are classes that are just amazing, right? Now, yeah, I feel like technically speaking, there should be more classes in like the S tier than the S plus tier, but that's just my perspective.
Yeah.
We could add like a plus maybe as well, and maybe move that around a bit. That could be a
I don't know.
solution.
For me, I think MOP is like the expansion where almost everything is good and everything it can work. So like the fact there's 7 classes in S plus, it kind of like it's a good representation of like how balanced the expansion is. Everything kind of works. Everything is kind of strong in the hands of like a good player, these classes are giga useful.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with S plus being like that, but I see what you're saying. It does seem unusual, like compared to Kata.
Mm-hmm. There was a question in chat by K Sheps. He's asking about Disc Priest. Do you think it would be good for healing FCs due to big shields and better defensive CDs than Holy?
Guys, I'll be right back 2 seconds. You guys can keep talking.
Good question.
Yeah, sure.
The thing is, so Disc Priest is like it's like shielding, and it's like mitigating damage, right? With paints up, it's like a damage reduction, shields, and yeah. But Holy Priest does basically the same thing, except instead of paints up, you give them Guardian Spirit, right? So I think the difference is, right, on high stacks, if you could like in game, let's say your FC is on the roof and he has like 7-8 stacks. If you could choose in that specific situation to have a Disc Priest instead of a Holy Priest, maybe yeah, because you'll probably save your FC with paints up rather than Guardian Spirit in that specific situation. But I think in every other situation, you would prefer to have a Holy Priest, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
And I completely agree with you, Relance. I think you make a good point regarding the Disc Priest. The only thing I can add to that explanation would be that if you're thinking about the Disc Priest just for saving the FC, those situations are going to be much lower compared to every other situation you can encounter. I mean, if you get to a point where you need a Disc Priest just to save your FC, then you probably have something going wrong in your team fight or not enough healing in the team fight, and that's where the Holy Priest would shine. If you have a really good team fight and really good healers, your FC should be relatively safe if he's got good positioning. So, and again, the chances of getting an FC map is going to be much lower compared to Cataclysm with these 3 new battlegrounds that are coming out.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, let's have a look at this again.
I don't know. So I came back when this list was like midway through being done. So I would put, if if I was to redo some of these classes, I would put like Fire Mage, Demo Lock, Survival Hunter, Ret Pala. I put them all in one basket, and then I would put Shadow Priest, Ellie in one basket together next to each other. Because I think if Ellie is pumping the numbers, it's a really good class to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, we were hesitating with the Elemental Shaman because, again, like it can pump a lot of damage. And again, if it's a good player, has good positioning, there's no reason as to why it can't be in A tier for sure.
I think the combat rogue we swing and a miss with the combat rogue because I think the 8 or 9 second kidney is really strong too.
Yeah, that was mentioned in chat.
I think so. Like the difference between combat and sub is like sub basically has dance, which is really useful in situations where you need to sap somebody when you don't have vanish and all these kind of things. But yeah, it's interesting because you can add these conditions to the list. Like Faladrix right now is like he's really excited about Chaos Bolts, which I get. So I think like if you were to do a tier list for like 2k MMR, it would look quite different, I think, because certain classes are easier to play. Certain classes will get away with being able to free cast and all this other kind of stuff. I would actually put Guardian in S+.
Yeah.
If I was to change this one. Oh, you only have rogue clips.
Yeah.
I want to see some SP clips, man. Fuck.
And what else? You said you wanted to change with the hunters and stuff. I didn't really catch that with the other class. You wanted to change a bit.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if like, what did you why did you guys choose to put BM in B tier and
Because
Windwalker
of
in
the
S tier?
defending potential, like with BM, like you can actually defend the base. I think you can defend better with BM than survival and stuff. You would actually play BM for defending, am I mistaken? When we're wanting and stuff, and when we're doing.
Windwalker is more of a biased take, but it was more of my argument saying that their potential for a variety of responsibilities within Rated Battleground is quite high. If you do decide to take them over, for example, a Guardian Druid, you would have to be running a Rogue in there. The idea would be, for FC maps to kind of YOLO those, and also the idea that in non-FC maps, a Windwalker might have a higher potential than a Guardian Druid. It's a questionable decision, but well, yeah.
Yeah, so Peachy said, so we're trying to keep it so like this tier list assumes that the class is being played by the best possible player, right?
Yeah.
Would keep it consistent. So maybe Resto Shaman on C is actually unfair. Maybe it's more like A, because it's not like completely dogshit that if you compare like bringing a Ret Pala to Shadow Priest. So maybe it's like slightly higher on the list, like A tier maybe.
That's true.
I also remember it was the guy Waffles. I think he played a lot of Shaman as well back then. And
I mean,
was really good.
Winky played a bunch of.
Yeah, Winky as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Spunk. So the reason I don't know about healers, right? But the reason I put or would choose to put Holy Priest and Resto Druid in S tier instead of S plus, I asked the question to myself: would you play without a Resto Druid? Is it a class that you really need? And the answer is no. I don't think you really need a Resto Druid. I think all the classes in S plus tier, you wouldn't want to play without them. That's the logic.
Yeah, I agree on that, Valence. I think it's a really good take on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But how are we gonna move these last ones around now? Just take one at a time, and I'll move them.
Honestly, I think it actually looks good now. I'm
The
not sure
combat
about
rogue,
Windwalker in B, because Windwalker for me does the same thing as a Rat Pala. Combat Rogue would probably be like A next to Frosty K.
The thing with Windwalker compared to Red Paladin is just the mobility that is really high. But yeah, I mean, if you want to put it down in C tier, I think that's also completely fine. I'm not against that. It's just questionable though having the combat rogue at A tier. I think one of the reasons as to why it was ranked much lower was that, okay, well, if combat only brings a 9-second kidney and that's it, how is their damage compared to sub rogues in general or assassination rogues? Is it only the fact that they have a 9-second kidney that just makes them just A tier? Or is there something else that they bring to the table that assassination doesn't bring because it's currently ranked in C tier?
I think also if you ink a base with a combat, like you can stun first, and then he has to trigger the stun because else you can cap and then stun, and then he can blind and then he will get it. I think that could work.
I don't know if that's a good argument, because the thing is, rogues have just so much CC that if they're going to ninja cap that 9-second kidney, yeah, it's nice, but it's not the only thing they have, right? You can open with a cheap shot, gouge, whatever, and they're going to have to trinket something like that, and then you blind. So it's not like they don't have enough in terms of CC, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree.
As Combat Rogue, you have Killing Spree, that's a 2-minute CD. But is it really going to make that big of a difference? Is it I don't know. I mean, this is a serious question I'm asking. I don't know how much damage it actually pumps out.
Which class? Sorry, I was reading chat. Which I read.
We're still talking about Combat Rogue with the Killing Spree, is what Fake Trinket had mentioned.
I see.
The fact that you can reset CDs as Combat Rogue. Are you talking about Prep.
It's unpeelable and does good damage. So the logic is, if Frost DK is like a worse version of a DK than Unholy DK, it's in A tier, right? Because a DK is still a DK, it's really annoying, it still has Mass Grip. Combat Rogue is a worse version of a Rogue, but it's still useful in the sense that it has Smoke Bomb, you can still sap, you can still... You know, you have the exact same toolkit, but you're trading Shadow Dance and Shadow Blades and the kind of burst for a different style of damage.
Yeah, but
so like 8-second kidney on anything is brutal if it doesn't have a trinket, right? So we'll see.
But I mean, there could be a counter to that argument. I think there's a general agreement in the community that Unholy is going to be played in most battlegrounds, and then there is a use case to swap your off-spec of Frost in certain other battlegrounds because they shine more. For example, Temple of Kamagu, I think, was one of the arguments that was being made. Does Rogue have that same argument? Is there like a use case where a sub Rogue would go to their combat off spec for a certain battleground?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Like you'd literally have to evaluate the usefulness of having their kidney over. Like for me, I would never ask my Rogue ever to be combat. So maybe that's a sign that it's completely dogshit. But a Rogue is a Rogue in my eyes. If you have like, let's say for example you have Avidance playing combat, of course he's gonna find a way to make that shit work, right? If he's the best Rogue in the game, he's still gonna find a way to make it OP. So
I remember
Avi played
Aqualols, he played actually combat back in the days in RBG as well.
I mean, Avi played Asa in Kata as well in some games. Like, I know it's kind of memeing, but maybe he'll try like every spec just for like content. But yeah, I agree. I like Dionis. I don't know how to say his name. Dion says you would always want your Rogue to be sub. 100%. I think the whole reason the Rogue is OP is because of Shadow Dance.
I agree.
What about yeah, so you can talk, no problem.
Yeah, I noticed there was I think a few people in chat questioning why is Guardian Druid in S+ tier.
Why is Guardian S+? Because it's just hands down like the best tank. There's no other tank in the game that can pick the flag in stealth and that needs help getting across. I think it's very possible if you try to play any of these other specs, Blood DK, Prot Warrior, Brewmaster, you're going to try across the map and the team is just going to dogpile you and stop you from getting the flag. And you're just going to be speed capped on over and over again. You're going to have somebody else pick the flag for you. It's just a nightmare. Like, Guardian Druid is already OP because of the fact it can pick the flag in stealth, but I think it's also one of the most tanky classes in MOP. It just, and then for the defensive capability of like defending a base as well. Sorry, I keep yapping here, but with the fact that you can defend with bubble and trinket is just fucking disgusting and OP. You can flex your Guardian to a boomkin. I think it's just like hands down just the best tank.
Does Guardian get bubble, or is it Feral that gets bubble? I think there's just a slight confusion regarding that.
I mean, Feral gets bubble, right? But it's the same. You're bringing the Guardian in terms of like flag carrying, but you're also bringing that class in that spot, which has the ability to flex to a Feral Druid to defend on another map and stuff. I mean, if we want to be like super pedantic, we could put like Feral next to Guardian too, but I think everyone gets the point I'm trying to make, right?
Yeah. So if you were making your team, would you choose Guardian Boomy or Guardian Feral?
Well, I think you can have. Can you not have all three?
No.
Or you only get 2 specs in MOP, right?
2, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, so we had this actual conversation recently in our we've got a little team Discord. We're talking about like should your Guardian Druid, should he get gear for Guardian only and like get really tanky, or should he have like a Boomkin off spec? And I think for me personally, optimally, for other maps, I would rather have a second Boomkin with gear and just have my Guardian be slightly more squishy in flag maps, because I think you'll get more use out of like having a second Boomkin who can play Guardian. Because I have a feeling that Boomkin is one of the best defenders in the game. That's just a hunch. So if your Guardian Druid can play Boomkin and defend as Boomkin, that's also really good. If he can play Feral and defend as Feral, that's fine too.
But the Konmogu is a bit fucked if he's feral, isn't it? Like.
Of course, yeah. So Konmogu is like a giga like outlier map, because obviously you can play two styles, right? You can tell your Guardian to pick the orb and just like never do any DPS and just run around the map, avoiding damage, just farming as many points as he can. Or you can tell your Guardian to go Boomkin, and you have two Boomkins, and then you just run around the map as like a death ball, just killing everything, like and play more of an aggressive style. I prefer playing like more like your orb carriers should be damage dealers, I think, at the same time, not just running. But I think both strategies do work. So.
But you said that with the rogues, they are just, if they are rogue, you know, would you put Asa a bit higher then as well, or would you just keep it like low here?
What does Asa do? Asa brings Vendetta for base caps, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lisky already explained that in the chat earlier as well. It can actually have some usage. Maybe it should be the same tier.
I think it's fine and C. Like, I remember people
really?
saying that. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter, to be
I
honest.
can move it back then.
I remember people saying Asa would be really good in Kata because of Vendetta and all this other shit. It turns out it didn't end up mattering like at all. But Lisky thinks you should play sub Asa rather than sub combat. Interesting.
Maybe we just put it in A because it is a rogue after all then. Let's fit the other combat.
I think it's one of those unsolved mysteries, and people are like either on, like some people really love the fact that you can 8-second kidney, and maybe there's really good uses for it, but it's yet to be seen, right? In MOP.
It's difficult, man. I shouldn't get the final call. Would you put it in C again then? Like just to have it here? Yeah, probably.
I mean, you could put it B tier if you know if the argument is that combat is better than assassination, it could be in the B tier. You know, it doesn't have to be in the C tier. I think at the very least, assassination is probably going to be better than an enhancement or a feral or an arcane mage for sure. I think there's, you know, I mean, if we're having Windwalker in B tier, I think at the very least you could also have assassination in B tier, assuming that it's a very good rogue. There was a question I thought it was kind of interesting. If I can find it, is fire really this low? Hansel played it at a high rating, and he had prideful gear with more crit.
Yeah, I think Fake Trinket answered the question perfectly. Just said like the only advantage of bringing a fire mage is to like one-shot somebody in deep with combustion, and there's going to be extremely rare situations where you're going to be doing that. It's so easy to counter. It's just a giga strong 2 spec, and like actually if you watch fire mages play in 2s, right, the way they play, they do their one shot, they get cooldowns, and then they run around like a bitch for 1 minute, and then they try to do it again. And that's the playstyle of fire. It's the most boring fucking terrible playstyle ever, but it works in 2s and it's fine, right? I think what Blizzard did to fire from Kata to MOP is a war crime, to be honest. Like it went from the best, most fun spec in the game to like the most boring dog shit you can imagine. So I'm a bit passionate about this because fire mage is Catal's Gigaman, but
Why is feral a C? I think we were talking about that. They are the best 1v1. I don't know if that's true.
I don't
Yeah,
think Feral
not
should be
sure.
C actually. Could be at least B, probably.
Well, yeah, but what would be the reason? The reasoning? I mean,
For defending as well with the bubble and
the thing is, you're never really going to have a feral in the team fight. They're only going to be defending and ninja capping, and I mean, ninja capping if there is a reason to with the rogue. Other than that, they don't really have a spot in like FC maps, and their utility is going to be quite limited. The thing is, yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They can even 1v2, is what Anti is saying.
Dionys said fire and frost could be good together, but at the same time, double frost can also be good. Two frost mages blasting ice lances into one deep freeze is just as good as fire mage, Like I'm even planning to play some double mage with bloody, and we're just gonna deep the same target and just go ham on it. So
yeah.
not
Really
deep the same
looking at the
target.
tier list right now to see. Yeah.
Thing is, I've been playing with the glyph of deep freeze, which takes the deep freeze off the global cooldown. You can kind of like fire your. It's hard to explain, but you get like an extra ice lance out of doing this on a deep freeze target. Like the burst is crazy from a frost mage. I think it's just gonna be insane, and having two of them who can play together and hit the same target is gonna be. People are just gonna be dying, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck? How can I even heal this?" Dying in blanket silence.
Yeah, Dakrath is saying if you think you need deep freeze on the focus target, you clearly don't know the utility of that spell. Extra ice lance using air travel time. Oh,
like,
so you mean?
So
you
let's say the target
yeah,
is
go ahead.
let's say the target is like already frozen, right? You throw your ice lance as it's traveling, you deep it, and then you just keep firing ice lances. There's no like. Normally you would deep freeze, then there would be like a global cooldown, and then you would carry on hitting. But I think like removing that global cooldown is actually insane just for being able to delete people.
Yeah. And I think if you have two mages on a team and both mages understand how to do that, you can really send some nasty damage. Like two ice lances going out, then you deep freeze before those two ice lances arrive, and it's it's a lot of damage.
I think people aren't ready for the level of coordination that you can do in these kind of RPG metas. Like, I think we all played kata RPGs where you just run around like tab dotting 1, 2, 3. Maybe you get like a CS on the healer, but like we had metas in WoD where we play like double Shadow Priest, one Shadow Priest CS like one healer, one Shadow Priest CS the other healer, and you just kill the third healer. And like the coordination people had in those metas is like kind of scary because it's almost like you can't outplay it if you play it properly, which is it's good and bad, right? But I think it's a lot more fun and engaging, like playstyle.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree.
We got 1 hour to go, or like less than 1 hour to go till MOP, boys. Oh my god.
MOP hype, let's fucking go, team. I'm so hyped for the MOP pump.
And the best thing about Mage is like you're not just bringing Mage for the one shots. They can also spread like the Nether Tempest. It's just like the perfect class. Like I swear to God, if you want to have fun in MOP, just make a Mage, man. Make a Frost Mage. It's the best. It'll be the best decision you ever make. Like people saying Warrior is going to be like the new OP class. Like make a Mage, guys. Holy fuck, it's the best.
Exactly. But yeah, is there more we want to talk about now? Are we gonna call it and chill, or something we're missing?
I mean, it would be interesting to see what chat thinks about this tier list. I see there's a live voting poll on the website there. I don't know if that's something you wanted to try out and see what the people think.
I don't know how that worked. I tried to open it and I couldn't really get it to it. Have you guys been using this before?
I have not, but did you click live voting poll? There's probably a link.
I will save this one first, so I'll save it.
Yes.
Download image. Yeah, now it's downloaded.
I think the only ones I would say I'm unsure about are the healers and then Shadow Priest, Ellie, Destro. It would be it would have been interesting to do like a tier list for like the 2K bracket. So like this tier list is assuming everybody playing these classes is like the best player. And then it would be interesting to see like a tier list which maybe certain classes will like be incredibly OP against like 2K players. I'm not sure. It would probably look about the same though, let's be real.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because I looked at this website, so I did this the same for Kata, where you do your raid comp to check that you have all the buffs, right? So you can MOP raid comp. And then if you put in like a comp without like a Holy Pala or an Ellie Shaman, then you're missing a huge mastery buff. So I think like making sure you're hitting all the buffs in the comp is important too, right? Because like 3K mastery as a buff, that's like a tailoring proc basically. You know what I mean? It's a huge buff. Yeah, Fake Trinket. I played on the Shaylun server a tiny bit with T-Dot and people. Maybe we were in Discord together at some point.
Oops. Let me try to do this live voting and see if I can get it to work somehow.
It's true, actually. Thank you. I'm fucking excited, bro.
What are we voting on? What is this? Are you familiar with this thing here?
I've never tried this actually, so.
Yeah, time to pull a sickie tomorrow, Winky. I was hoping we'd have some like really spicy questions about, you know, like Kata going into MOP, about certain players and all this kind of stuff. Like get the pre-cook the drama a bit, but maybe it's best not to. Somebody had some good questions yesterday before we ended the stream, but
bring them in,
because that's what I'm looking forward to. This this aspect of MOP is going to be the most fun for me. Is like everybody's try-harding. There's a lot on the line. I want to see all the rivalries and all this kind of stuff. That's like the most fun. But
I think you just make a poll in chat and see what people think about the. I think it'll just make more sense. How much do they agree with the with what we've come up with?
Rest of Druid Iceblood. Living for the drama. It's the same with like football, anything, man. It's just it's more fun when there's more in the line, right?
Can I go back? Yeah, I'll skip this thing and just go. I'll see you still. Yeah. What do I say then? Question. Like, what do you think about the tier list, or what should I call the question now?
Did we hit or miss with the tier list? Like, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Everybody holding hands and playing together, Winky. It's not right, man. What is this? What have we become?
What should the response be? You can have like 5 different responses. Probably yes, it's right on the spot.
I have a question for you, Shreddy, actually, because I haven't asked you yet. Are you still planning to play on Horde?
No.
Okay.
I thought fuck that shit. Like, I'm not gonna play any Horde. Demonic.
I
the
hope
first
a bunch
question.
of NA people come
Yeah.
play on EU as well. That'd be good.
That's cool. Yeah, I talked a bit with Yesmas as well today. He actually wrote to me that he may play, but I'm not sure if he does it from the start though. So, let's see here. Did we hit or miss with the tier list? Yes, it's right on the spot. No, you guys have no clue what you're talking about. Maybe that's a good one as well. And then the next one could be like some medium ones. Like, yeah, I kinda agree.
Yeah, USA is dead on RBGs. There's no like disadvantage to playing on EU now, right? The ping is like it doesn't you barely notice it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit bad, but
As long as the ping is below like 250 ms, I think it's playable. It's like ideally like people from the US should feel around like 100 to 150 ms, which is I think is completely fine. I know because I used to play on NA servers from the EU when I moved to Europe from the US, and I was around 150 ms, and this was like 15 years ago, and the internet has gotten a lot better since. So.
Okay, I made it now. I'm gonna post it to start poll. It's gonna be 10 minutes. Is that fine?
Yeah. I think 10 minutes is more than enough. Anyway, around 11:30, I'm going to take a break and kind of get ready for the launch. So.
Is it up now? Yeah, we can click here. Did we hit or miss with
Yeah,
the tier list?
up,
Yes,
guys.
it's right on the spot. No, you guys have no clue. Yes, I can't agree. I don't agree with all. I don't care. I only care for the vibes. Like, if you're only here for the vibes, you don't even care what we were talking about. That's also an option.
Come on, guys, vote quick. Let's go. Chop, chop.
What? Williams?
nothing.
No, what's up, man? Come to it right now.
Also, I said this in chat, but just a reminder to people. I think what Shreddy's doing for the community is really nice, and I really encourage people to support him, whether you follow him or send him a sub or a donation. I think it give a nice message that what he's doing is really helpful.
Yeah, use your Twitch Prime on him, man. Let's go.
Yeah, it's Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime.
Can't you level as a shocker then, Winky? I saw like Cavi was one-shotting people as Holy Pala.
Yeah, and you guys should of course also, like, I don't know if you linked your streams yesterday, but I don't know if there's some new people, if you want to link your streams and stuff again, so people can at least follow you as well. That would be great, I think. Be in this together, you know?
We're in this together. Let's have a look. I'll see if anyone followed me when I linked it yesterday.
No one followed me yesterday.
It's
fine.
Yeah.
It's
How's
fine.
it looking right now with the vote? No one has said I don't agree at all so far.
Do a little
Oh, you
shout
cannot
out
see
for fake trinket.
Of course.
No, you guys.
Can you guys see how the results are so far? Or can you only me for by now?
No, I can see it. Maybe I don't know if it's because I'm a mod, but
yeah.
It's looking good.
We need more people to vote. Not many people have voted so far. People are chilling in here.
People are lurking. That's what I do when I watch a stream usually.
Yeah, you just put in the background and just
They
listen.
want some more engagement, not all that chilling. We need some pump in the chat.
Oh, and to you subscribe with a tier 1.
Oh, thanks a lot for the subscribe, Antti. I hope MOP doesn't die like you said, and there will only be team sniping me in the end after a few weeks. Yeah, I saw your broadcast. That was funny actually. You broadcasted like in 2 weeks or 3 weeks into the season, there would only be 2 Israeli and 2 teams trying to snipe him. I saw that. That was fucking funny actually. So yeah. Thanks a lot for the sub. Is my webcam
You've unlocked
lagging,
the
by the
best
way? I
servers
think
in
my
the world.
webcam is lagging right now.
Well, it looks good, man.
Well,
It's
for
fine.
me, it's
Smooth.
slightly. I don't know. People say I didn't put the vote in the chat. It's on the top here. Can you not just click on the poll?
Yeah, so there should be a little thing in the chat on the very top with a little like a drop down arrow button. You just click that and it'll open the poll, and you can simply choose and vote on the selection you want. So it's at the very top. It's called current poll, and the question is, did we hit or miss with the tier list?
I'm scared,
Everyone
man, because actually it's not related to the poll, but somebody just linked me like the amount of people who are stood in Tol Barad right now. I'm trying to save my Dark Moon buff, but I also don't want to not be able to log in, you know.
I'm actually
Yeah, I
going to go
should actually
there
log
right
in. I'm
now.
not even logged in right now. I'm trolling. Huh?
Yeah.
Or you can log into the characters screen. Maybe that's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people. It's gonna be a lot of people here soon.
There's no queue at
I'm
least.
gonna hype.
What's up, bro? I need to hear what's happening.
Man, it's reading chat, man. Funny stuff.
No more snipe teams, yeah. Not many people have voted still, but should we wait until it finishes, I guess, with this?
I'm just going to Tolbrad right now, just see how bad it is.
Yeah, sure.
What's the best way to level, by the way? Is it just questing, or is dungeons OP? Does anyone know any tricks or anything?
It would appear from the conversation I've had with some people that the general agreement that questing is probably going to be faster than spamming dungeons, because I think there was one dungeon in one of Cataclysm dungeon, but I forget which one it was. Yeah, Grim Patrol was actually nerfed on experience, so apparently it's not going to be a thing anymore. Questing is probably going to be faster, but with the amount of people that may be leveling on launch, it might not even be worth doing quests. There are many people that are going to be doing the quote unquote these so-called monkey runs in the first dungeon, whatever it's called. So they're just going to be farming the monkeys and then resetting the instance.
Or whatever, storms.
Yes. It seems to be a very common thing that I've been hearing going around.
Monkey runs. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of monkeys at the first section, up to the first boss.
I'm afraid I will see a Sabonis face on one of the monkeys. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah, Anti makes a good point. Where's the rush? There is not really much rush. I'm personally going to try doing quests and see how that goes. I kind of want to re-experience everything. People that are going to be doing dungeons will, in any case, have to go back and do quests because you need the reputation. I think. I don't know if in PvP you need the reputation. Not for PvP, yeah. Yeah, well, I need the rep since I will be doing. I'll be raiding, so.
Yeah, let's look at the poll now.
Oh, it'll end in about a minute or two. We can just wait for that
yeah, sure, we can wait.
Announcement. So.
Yeah, so much people saying now.
I think it ends in 2 minutes. I think that's plenty of time for. Did someone say Twitch Prime? Twitch Prime?
Let's see. They can do if they want. I'm just doing this because I love the RBG. So.
Yeah, give them in a Twitch Prime, guys. Like Auntie says. Let's go. Send some love. RBG.
August the 5th.
Suku's asking, are you sure Unholy is S tier? I saw a video, Frosty K S tier. I mean, I hope that's true because I love Frosty K. So I don't know what the others think, but does it look like people playing RBG have jobs? I mean, assuming that the majority of people that are playing WoW are in their 30s, I hope that they do, and then they're just living on social welfare. So
They Inertia has 3 years left on his ban.
oh no.
Boost the
At
character
least
now and get pumping, man. Second account. Allo.
if you don't want to miss the launch, Inertia, I can lend you my second account. You can level one of my mages if you want. Enjoy the hype.
The voting should end in about 20 seconds. So if you haven't voted yet, don't hesitate to do it. It's at the very top of the chat. It's called current poll. Did you do hit or miss? Just simply click the drop down arrow and you can vote on it before it ends.
Exactly.
It's about, I'd say, about 15 seconds left to vote. Probably around 5 now.
I think it's done now, isn't it?
There's a lot of lurkers.
Now it's done. Yeah, let's see.
I just
I
seen
kind of agree.
35 minutes to go. I'm going to go eat something before we.
Yeah,
sure.
likewise.
Thanks for having me on the thing, Shreddy.
Thanks for being here.
Cheers.
Get some pump
Catch
for
you
the
in a
mob.
bit, guys.
Yeah, see you later, bro.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bro. See you.
Bye.
Yeah, I see the poll. Yeah, did we hit or miss with the tier list? Yes, I kind of agree one. Yeah, it's right on the spot. That's good, 24%. No, you guys have no clue. That's two, like 12%. And I was only here for the vibes 12 as well. I don't agree with all 6. Yeah. Yeah, I think I will stream the leveling a bit now as well. And just chill a bit with the vibes and stuff. I would probably just turn off just to restart the stream. So I don't need to like clip it giga. So I'll probably just restart it quick. So I have this maybe for some YouTube as well. Thanks a lot for the tier list and everyone that was in the chat and participating. It's really good. I hope at least we had a lot of fun here, and I hope also this could be useful for some players in some way at least. I don't know if I'm fully sending it though, we will see. I'm just gonna restart it quick and then I'll be back.